All right, guys, welcome. It's a new year, new things coming up. Welcome back to the Lionheart Talks podcast. We are now going to be available on Spotify as well as iTunes now for the audio versions. If you guys just want to hear the audio and hear us talk, that'll be raw and uncut, unlike the one on YouTube where I have to, do all the stuff for YouTube. So I'm here with a special guest, someone very near and dear to my heart, someone who helped raise me, craft the Lionheart, and help me get on this journey of where I am today. My guest is none other than my big sister,
Hey.
Shireen.
Hello.
Welcome.
Audience. They're there. They're there. They're going to watch.
They're there. They're there.
Hi, audience.
Right now it's just the camera, but they listening.
Okay.
So what brings you here to the Lionheart Talk?
You.
Yeah.
You.
So let me give y'all a little backstory. So my sister moved to Mississippi about how many years ago?
Maybe like about four, going
About
on 5.
4 years ago. She would come around to visit every so often, but it's been a while since I seen her. So guys, it's the holiday time. I didn't know my sister was coming down. She kind of surprised me. She said, "Come outside," and I get surprised. I said, "Oh shit, we finally together now." So we just been spending the holiday times together now. So that's why I ain't been uploading nothing. I just been chilling with my family. So yeah, that's what she here for. That's what we here for, and we gonna bring y'all a nice little podcast for the New Year's. All right, so let's start off with a little about you. Tell us a little about yourself.
Okay. Well, what you want to know? Because you know pretty
Well, you
much.
tell the audience what you want to tell the audience.
Well,
Go
what do
ahead.
you think the audience wants to know? Because you know so much about me. Because you've been around
Let's
most
start
of my
off
life.
with some of your passions. Let's start off like what you like to do.
Well, I like to be into anything where I can create. So anything creative, from drawing to fashion, interior design, anything like that. Anything where I can use my creative juices and allow them to flow.
Yeah,
That's what I do. That's what I like to do.
we drinking a little bit of wine here.
All right, right. Hold on now. Let's for the people. Okay.
And if my voice sounds a little raspy, it's because I lost my voice.
Well, if my voice sounds raspy, it's because it is.
I lost
It's
my
just
voice a
raspy.
few days ago on New Year's. I ain't gonna talk about all that, but
They should have been here. They had to be here to see it. And we was here. We had fun.
so my voice is still recovering. All right, so let's talk about Mississippi. How you like Mississippi?
Well, you know what? Mississippi is different.
Tell us about it.
And well, it's different and it's the same. Meaning it's an environment that people are in. And it's kind of hard for me to adjust because I'm so used to being in an area that moves very fast, at a fast
And now
pace.
you want to slow down.
And now slow way down. And but then where I'm located I'm in Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So where I'm located, it's kind of like what they would consider a city, but
Yeah.
a city for them is kind of like the suburbs for us. Like it's not the city.
Yeah,
What we
yeah.
know, like big lights, camera, action type of a deal. It's not like that. So it's kind of different. But there's some aspects that I see that are similar. Meaning like there's people there. There are people who do things like they keep moving. But then it seemed like they shut down after a certain time. Like that's it. Yeah, you going to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So here where I'm used to like New York, the New York area that keeps going and going, no, they turn off. Then they wake up the next day and do it all over again. So that's the only big difference that I see. Other than that, it's like, a country place compared to where we are. Or where you are now,
Yeah.
actually.
Sadly.
So
You get to deal with all the heat. You get all nice heat. You don't got to deal with cold
you know
weather.
what? That good weather be.
I'm
You know
telling
what?
you,
You
I'm
go
telling
somewhere, but then you miss it.
I feel you.
I miss
yeah.
like the being able to dress, fashion,
Mhm.
being able to be creative in the other way. Cause here
Oh,
you
now,
get
now you're talking
a
down
taste.
on my southern
wait,
people
hold
right
on.
now. You're talking down on
Cause
my
you know
southern
what?
people.
You know what I'm talking
I
about.
know
Don't
what
act
you're
like
saying.
you don't know what I'm saying.
we got different
What
styles.
I'm saying is but what I'm saying is like there's an actual winter here where you
Yeah.
can like you
You
could
can
wear
show
your
out
boots.
yeah.
You got the fur. You could turn them
Mhm.
down. You could turn them up. You could do what you want. You kind of get into your passion of like your fashion, your
Yeah.
thing that is who you are. But down there's no other season, so you just kind of like it's hot
Mm-hmm.
and then it's warm.
And that's
And
it.
then it's
That's it.
slightly, it's like you might get a couple of cold days, but it's not really like a season of cold days. It's literally like you could come outside one day and there's frost, and then the next day it ain't.
That ain't
It's
nothing.
like the middle of spring. So that's the only difference other than that. But you don't realize the advantage that you kind of
Yeah.
have being here and being able to experience some of all the seasons, because there are actually people that are there that never seen snow in
Yep.
person.
Mm-hmm.
So if they never traveled anywhere where they have snow, they've never actually seen snow in person. And it's strange to me because I'm like, well,
Yep.
I experienced that. Or like the leaves changing color when it gets cold, and
Mm-hmm.
you see like the fall when the leaves
Yeah.
start changing color. It's like it don't seem the
It's not the
colors are a
same.
little
Yeah.
different. Yeah, the environmental colors
Mm-hmm.
are just a little bit different. But you got to be down there. You got to. It's
Yeah.
something that you have to experience for yourself. So that would be the only difference, other than me being able to be up here, and I'm always I was
Yeah.
always on the go.
On the
I ain't
move.
staying in the
Yeah.
house. Yeah, here down there, it's like, well, what is there to actually do? But yes, your adventures, where it's like we're going to the city. My adventures is like I'm looking for a Target because
Mm-hmm.
it's like real
Real
far to
far.
get to
Country, them
stuff.
country miles is
Yeah, so
different.
you
It's
get what I'm
different.
saying.
Yup.
It's like
Yes,
I'd
I
rather
do.
walk a New York block any day.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of that, let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about the transition from being in a fast paced environment to a more slowed down, more laid back, relaxed environment. How you like that?
How did I like it? Well, I didn't really have a chance to transition. It's kind of like I just went.
You just went. Yep.
Yeah, so it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like, to me, transitioning in a smooth way would be like being able to go to another place that's like an in
In
between
between
place
and then going.
and then going there. It
Yeah.
was like from one extreme to the next, because New York up here,
Yeah.
we keep
We
it
on the
moving. We
moving,
gotta
yeah.
go. Down there, it's more like, well, let me tell you about this story about my dog. Like, and I'm like, I listen. The stories are beautiful at times, but sometimes, you know what? I don't even want to hear a story. I just want to go where I gotta go. Like, I'm used to just doing stuff. Down there, you gotta hear the whole story. You gotta stop and you talk to people. And although we were kind of raised like that, where it's like, you
Mm-hmm.
listen to stories
Yep.
and it's a way of life.
Yeah.
It's just different. It's
It
the
is.
same. There are similarities, but
But
it's
it's a little
different.
different, yeah.
Yeah. It's like they like slow down. I'm like, nah,
Nah,
I
I
ain't got time.
time.
Like, you really, to me, is like what they would consider a place that you go to retire
Yeah.
or relax,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
just to get away. Sometimes people need breaks
Yeah.
from being on the go so much, and it's cool to break. But I'm like, it's time to move. Like, we got to do
Mhm.
stuff. And then, like I said, it's different. It's just different.
That it is.
Yeah.
So, speaking on that, I ain't even asked. Like, what made you want to move down there?
That's a good question. A lot of things factored into the reason why we moved. Mainly because the person that I was with
Yeah.
actually got a job. So it was like, all right, let's just go see what this. And part of it is exploring.
Exploring. Yeah.
Yeah, exploring and living life and understanding, like, your journey is your journey, and being able to be on that journey is a beautiful thing. So going on a journey, that's part of it. Being able to change my environment and see what goes on, changing what goes on with my daughter, to see what it is that, like, she might be susceptible to.
Yeah.
Things that might benefit her in a different environment. See how that works, see how what works, what doesn't work. It's just kind of like figuring out where we want to be in life.
True. True. True.
Yeah, like, do you think you would ever move to a place like that? From what you hear, and maybe a little bit about like what you see, but do you ever think that you would go on say an extended vacation? So where it's like you might not move in an area like that, but maybe stay there for
a little
like
bit.
an extended period, like a month or so.
I mean, since like when I moved to Florida and I came back, like I'm down to move like wherever. Like I'm just that type. Like I just like to explore. Like now, like just exploring is like I just want to explore like new things, like new places. Like I really haven't really been anywhere in my life, so I've stayed anywhere for an extended period of time. The most places I've been is like on vacation and stuff for like a week. So when I got to move for that short period of time that I was gone for, I got to experience like the southern lifestyle. Like you said, it's more slowed down and laid back, and I actually became like more slowed down and laid back there. It was more relaxing for me. I really liked it down there. So that really got my mind like flowing about like, oh, if it's like this here, I wonder how it's like in California. I wonder how it's like in the West. I wonder how it's like in the Midwest. Like
Yeah, you
this.
know what, Callie? We coming to see you
Oh
because
yeah, we
that's a
gonna.
place that I
Yep.
definitely
Yep. Nope. That's.
wanna visit.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes. That's
You
definitely one
know,
of the
I had
places.
plans to move to Cali. I ain't never been to Cali a day in my life,
And I'll
but
definitely want to
I was
fucking go.
definitely like, I still want to go. I still want to be able to see what it's like, not just visit, but actually, like, if I had an opportunity to have an extended visit there, I would take it.
Yeah. I had a few friends who lived down there and visited down there, and like they love it there. So
They love it.
yeah,
Do you think you would go visit like for an extended?
I think if I would go there, I would probably end up staying. So
Does that scare you?
no, like moving never scared me. It doesn't matter where I am. So like I know like no matter what, I'll always be able to see my family. Like I'll be able to travel, but like if I'm in a certain space that makes me happy or whatever,
You like to take advantage
I'd rather
of
take
it?
it. Yeah, I'll take
Cool.
advantage of that. Yeah, so I it doesn't scare me, but at the same time, it's like, uh, I don't know if I should do that right now. So
Yeah, but you know what? I'll be down.
I'm
Any
down.
part of the world, like if someone took a globe and took their finger and it just turned the globe, and then wherever it
Where
stopped,
point,
they'll
that's where
pay
I'm
for
going.
me to go, and like anything I need to make sure like I was able to maintain whatever lifestyle it is I had, I would go.
I would definitely
I'll
do the
be
same
down
shit.
there, like go to another country,
I want to go. That's
see what other cultures are like. Like that's cool. And you think like, well, you know, what's the difference? Because it's just the other side of the same country that we actually live in. But can you, like, the culture is
it's
just,
different.
it's
It's different. It is. Yeah. It
Yeah,
definitely
but
is.
it's like a cool thing. It's like it has its ups and downs. Just like being here has its
its up
ups
and
and
downs,
downs.
yep.
Like, you know, like you could hop on the bus. I ain't realized how much, like,
That's a convenience. Like I remember when
yeah,
I lived
like,
in
I'm
Florida,
trying to
there's
tell you,
one bus. There's
one bus.
and that shit barely ever there.
I
Like,
don't even. I see the
seen it
bus. I'm like,
twice.
is it a schedule for this bus? Like, I am hurt if the bus stop working. Like, if my truck stop working, I don't have
You
no
shit
means
outta
of
luck.
transportation. Really? I mean, you could walk to it, but it ain't like walking to like, you know, the
Yeah,
stores
no,
around
it ain't.
here. It's not like you
Everything's-
can see a store.
Mhm.
Like, don't get me wrong, there's stores fairly close to me where I'm at now. But before that, you ain't trying to walk nowhere.
Nowhere, hell no. Especially in the summertime when it is beaming hot.
No, and that heat down there
Yeah,
is
it's
something
different.
It's
It's
like,
different.
you gonna have to. That's why they moved. So I think
Because they know that they got to control their
heat.
body temperature.
They was like, nah, we can't go too fast. Like, they right,
said,
because I'm
"Fuck
trying
that."
to tell you, the first time I went down there on a plane, and I got off the plane, and I walked outside the airport, because you had to walk outside the
Yeah.
airport to get to like your rental, your car rental. So I walk outside the airport. I swear, I'm not a sweater like that, but I mean, like a walk it's not even a mile long.
Nope.
I mean, it's just a short distance. But I mean, from one building to the next, it was a done deal. I was like,
Fuck that.
yo, listen, the guy at the rental place was like, you need a drink of water? And I'm looking at him like,
Shit, I need a whole gallon.
like, first of all, I need 2-3 bottles of water. Like, I don't even have any energy to answer you. Like, how do you survive in this heat? And I think once you've been down there, even if you decide to move down there, the first time it's like, don't move in the summertime, first of all. Make moves in there wintertime, because it's not like a winter here.
It's not. It's not. I remember when I moved down to Florida, I called myself going for a run, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's mid-August. Like 103 degrees out there. I made it like 3 blocks, and I was drenched in sweat, and I was out of breath. I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn, like I felt like
It's
I ran like
another
5
time I'm
miles.
trying to tell
I
you,
was like,
it's
nah,
not-
fuck that. I turned my ass back around.
Yeah, never mind. I don't even want to run.
I was like,
You know
I ain't
what?
ready
This
for that
why
yet.
Probably why they got inside gym.
Yep. No,
Because
definitely.
it's really like you gotta. That's what I mean. The environment itself is totally different. Because then I like, you know, something like I was doing the walk, and I was like, you know what, I was feeling you. Like I ain't even gonna
gotta
lie
get
to you. I'm not
adjusted to
about
that
the
shit.
run,
You can't-
but you gotta adjust to
You really
the
do,
environment before you actually take. I'm like, what they consider like a colder weather, I could deal
I can
with.
deal
Like I
with.
could
Yeah.
walk in that. This heat ain't no way. It's like I want to go for a walk, but I ain't about to walk in this heat. I'ma melt. I'ma
Mm-hmm.
pass out. I gotta walk with stuff like a bottle of water. Like I just want to
No,
walk.
that's
Now
no
you,
joke.
I need a
That's
bottle
definitely
of
no
water to
joke.
walk around here, and you definitely not gonna take no drink.
Mm-mm. That's
Mm-mm.
that. You better drink inside. Like,
Yeah, everywhere down there has to be like you gotta have
mm-hmm.
central air.
Yes.
Because it's for real. Don't try it with one of
Don't
them.
yeah. Don't try with
Don't
those
try one
fans.
of
You're
them
gonna die.
fans or them like them
Them little
units that you put
bootleg air
in the
conditions.
window.
Yeah.
That's good for backup. But I'm trying to tell you,
That shit gonna
you
break
need
real
something
quick.
centrally. I was like, this is why everywhere I go,
Central
it's
air.
like you
Yep.
gotta have central air.
Yes, you do.
Like, listen, my central air stopped working one time,
That's
and I was
it.
sitting there looking at the thermostat. I was sitting for like maybe like a half an hour, and I was like, I don't know, is it just me or is it good? Because it was working, and then next thing it wasn't
just
working. I'm
stopped.
sitting here watching the temperatures. I'm saying it's 93 degrees in here. Like, ain't no way in hell. I got to call the goddamn maintenance man and bring your ass over here and fix this shit. Like, this is the reason why. Like, I might walk around with an attitude because it's too goddamn
It's too
hot.
hot. It's too hot. Speaking of that, how you like the people down there? Like as far as how they treat you compared to over here?
Compared to over here, okay, well, down there, you have, like I was telling you before, you'll hear stories. So you usually have people that don't mind being a little bit more talkative or being able to talk to you about things. But
Yeah.
I noticed, like, a lot of times when you tell them, from my own personal experience, when you tell them, like, what area you're from, they're like, oh, you came a long way down here.
Mhm.
Now, what made you come down here?
Yep.
And then I'm thinking, like, y'all nosy.
Yep.
Like, leave me alone.
But that's just the way they are. Down.
Yeah,
They
that's the way.
Just,
Yeah, up here they don't ask. They don't even know. I don't even know. I'm not gonna say that people don't care, but it's just
everybody's
a different
so
way
into
of
their
life.
own-
Everybody's
yeah.
into what
Yep.
it is that you have going on. That I think, like, what I've heard about the opinion of people that are from up here, they're like, you came in the wrong direction. Like, normally people go up that way or, seeking opportunities and things like that. And I'm saying, like, a lot of, like, what I try to observe my environment and what I see around me. And I'm saying, like, some of this stuff has a lot of potential. Some of this land, some of this space has a lot of potential. And I think, like, some of the people, I think it's just getting, being in, like I said, a different culture,
mindset,
a different way of thinking, even though we're, like, in the same country. So culturally, we might be the same. But down there, it's like, it's something different. It's almost like I can place my hand on it, but you don't want to sound like.
Nah, you would think like from other like outside countries, they're like, what? Like it's different. Like if you go just like a few miles away, like America's so damn diverse, like that. Going to like from Jersey to Mississippi is like a complete like it's almost like a culture shock. Like it's completely different.
Nah,
like,
it really is like a culture shock.
It
like, there's
is
a difference with the way
just
things
different.
are.
It's really different.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I have friends that are from that area who kind of like tell me about like the things that go on. I'm like, this, it don't sound right. And from here, I'm laughing. I'm like,
but
they
then when
can't
you
be
get
like that.
Down there and
it
see
really
shit,
is like that. I'm like, oh, you know what? Some of it. I ain't gonna say I ain't ready because you stay ready. You get prepared for things, and then that's
right.
a part of life. But at the same time, it's like I thought you were joking. Like I thought you were saying it in a joke, and it's like no, I'm for real. This is how it really is, and so like it's enjoyable.
That is.
It's enjoyable, and it's good to see where another environment will take you mentally, physically, emotionally.
It shapes you, yeah.
It definitely does. I think, like, for me, I'm a little bit older, so being able to enjoy another place that actually takes advantage of slowing down is good every once in a while.
Yes, it is.
Sometimes I get a little bored because I'm like,
do.
you know what? But this is good. Like, I'm a writer, and if you like to read, write, and things like that, I think that you have an advantage of being able to take advantage of the time that you have and being able to chill and relax and understanding. Like up here, we say you need to relax. You need to relax. Something that
Mm-hmm.
we always say, but do you really know how
Do
to
you never? Yeah,
relax?
no, you really don't.
You
Like,
really know how to kick your feet up. And then I notice, like, when I'm down here, sometimes I'm like, I gotta get up. Y'all too goddamn quiet.
yep.
Let me turn the music on, something. And then I'm saying, like,
No, let me
at
just
the
chill
same
out.
time, let me just actually kick my feet up. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what that was like till you actually do it. And I'm saying, like, it actually feels good. But coming from up here, it's like, you constantly have to be
Yep.
ready to change and ready to do something. It's like, well, what's going on, really? And it's just the way life is up here. But down there, it's like, you want to slow down. I feel like the further south you go, the slower
The
it
slower it
gets.
get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you come back up a little bit up more north. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, it's the faster pace.
Yeah.
It's different. It's like it's hard to explain. That's why when I get asked that question quite often,
Mm-hmm.
like, what do I notice is the difference? And I'm saying, like, part of it's like I can't let go of just like this area because this is where I'm from. This is what I
Mm-hmm.
know. This is where I've been the majority of my life. I've stepped outside of the state and I've lived in other places, so I've experienced some
Mm-hmm.
things. But when you go as far as I
And
did, it's
out
like
your
I
comfort
mean,
zone, and you
yeah,
just
it's like
yeah.
before I was making little leaps and stuff. I thought I was going somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm all the way over here in Philly. I'm 2 hours
Yep.
away from home,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't realize like when you're like 16 hours away,
Yep. It's different.
18 hours
It's
away, or
different.
24 hours away. You like, wait a minute, like I
Mm-hmm.
can't even really like. I can call you guys and be like, hey, I can
Mm-hmm.
make a weekend trip, but it's pretty much gonna take me the whole
Oh, the weekend
weekend
to
to
get
get to
there.
you.
Yep. I'm gonna be there for like a few hours, and I'm about to take my ass
Yeah,
back.
it's really
That's the
like that. It's
weekend.
like,
Yep.
you know what? You better get your frequent flyer
Yep.
miles up
Yep.
because
Mm-hmm.
to really live a life like that, I think you need like to be able to have a car here
Yeah.
and a
Yes, you
car
do.
there,
Yep.
and then just be able to like get on a plane and then come here and then kind of like live your life here, do whatever it is, and move about however it is that you want to move about, and then go back to wherever you at. Make sure you got a whip there because you definitely
Yep.
need a. You
Yes,
ain't catching
no,
no
you
bus
ain't
out
catching no
there.
bus out there. You
I
ain't.
mean, you
Ain't,
might, but
ain't no subways. Ain't none of that.
no. And I always, I don't take cabs too much.
Mm-mm.
So I was like, how does like I see people driving. Like I'm pretty sure they're Uber
Yeah, they're Uber
drivers
drivers and
and
stuff.
Lyft.
Yeah.
What is it? Lyft,
Lyft,
right?
Lyft, Lyft,
Okay,
Lyft.
so Lyft drivers. So I know that they have those type of services out there, but I always wonder, like, how if going from like one place to another up here is a quick drive. Like everything is right around here,
Yeah.
and I'm saying like take a Lyft. Like okay, I get that in Uber, but how is it when you're actually like somewhere else, like in the country? And I
That's what
need
I
a
want
ride
when
from
there's like the
20
population is like
minutes away. Like,
two
it's,
people.
it's yeah, it's totally different. And I'm saying, like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
even want to experience it because
Mm-mm.
I'm curious, but I'm not
Not
curious
that
enough to know
curious.
firsthand.
All right. So one of my experiences, like from Florida,
excuse
that
me.
like as far as the change difference, like down there, like I used to do landscaping, and there was that we're talking about like how to you actually relax. I remember one time I was up on a coconut tree, and I was cutting down the coconuts or whatever. And I just felt a nice breeze, and I just sat there and chill. Like it was just like a nice peaceful moment, and you just sit there and relax, like enjoy that moment, like of just that breeze. Like it's the best way I could explain it. And over here, like when I moved back here, like I kind of lost like how to relax like I used to down there. Like even down there, I was planting plants and stuff, shit that I'll never do. Like, but down there, like that was like relaxing type stuff and just enjoying like the weather, enjoying like seeing people walk and just saying hi to people and stuff like that. Like that's the difference between living in the south and living in the north. Like here, you're constantly on the move. You gotta get this done, get this done, get this done. You really just don't know how to relax. You really just don't know how to chill. But down there, whether like you're forced or like you transition down there, you'll learn. You'll eventually learn because like there ain't nothing else to do. But I wanted to talk about Team Tune Out. Tell us what
Okay.
that's about.
So Team Tune Out is really something I came up with where it's like a place where you can go to find daily inspiration. And like what happens with it, what I do is I post to it daily. So I make way to kind of put out inspirational saying something you can start your day with
Yeah.
because my day starts like around 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I kind of get up and I feel like, it's a part of being in a different environment
Yep.
where you kind of learn how to be in tune with yourself a little bit more because you really left to no other devices other than like what you have in
Mm-hmm.
front of you. So, and then a lot of deep thinking and a lot of like, even though life serves its purposes, so, things come up and things happen and situations happen, but being able to post through Team Tune Out is more like what I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like daily thought. Like sometimes I go through maybe not such a positive thought, but I want to start my day
Mm-hmm.
with a positive thought and hopefully I can carry that throughout the day. I mean, it would be unrealistic for me to think that I don't get mad or upset about
We
anything,
all
but
does.
that I don't want to start my day
Mm-hmm.
off like that. So, it really came about because someone put into me about starting with positive quotes and motivational quotes and really trying to shape your life around that type of a thing. And so I think that actually helped me when it's time to move in the way that I'm explaining to you
Yeah.
how it is in a different environment when you get to a different environment. So what Team Tune Out does for me is also another way where I can kind of like let you in
Yeah.
on my thoughts and being able to open up because people tell me I'm kind of in the show, and you know what?
I think it runs in
I
the
kind of,
family.
I kind of agree where I like to be in my own little
Yep.
world and do my own little thing. But this is a way of me being able to let other people know, like, this is actually what's going on with me, without you having to, without me feeling like you're intruding
Yeah.
on my space. Like I'm letting
Mm-hmm.
you in on something. So some of these sayings are like what either comes across my mind or like how I want my day to start, or I just put it out there because I feel like I kind of do it for the love. Like this
Mm-hmm.
is like what I have. This is how I'm gonna start my day. And so I have people at times who touch base with me and let me know that like it didn't mean anything when I said it,
Mm-hmm.
or when I wrote it, I should say. But then they'll go back and they'll say like, I find myself going back to your thing, or something from Team Tune Out might come across their timeline, and they'll just be like, you know what? I wasn't going through something, but somebody I know was going
Going
through
through something.
something,
Yep.
and what you said made sense. So it's like I just put it out there. It's kind of a thing that I do. It's kind of something that I actually started doing with my daughter. With I have her kind of write out a positive saying
Yeah.
or something positive to begin your day, or kind of just place it in places so that she could see it and she can live that way. Even if you're angry about something, sometimes like that's my a mental break space.
Yeah.
It's like if I was to be able to create my own environment, this is
That's
what it
it.
would be kind of like. Yeah, like you
Mm-hmm.
come in and it's like very refreshing, very like it's sort of like a part of my spiritual journey.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So it's like I'm happy to allow people to be able to come in because it's like I'm not saying I don't have my moments where I want to turn up and do
Mm-hmm.
and party, but it's like my life's focus isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not there. It's like this is what I'm trying to show you, and some people you can actually speak with, and that you ever meet someone and you
They
just
just
like
have a good
yeah, it's like
conversation.
you have a
Yeah.
good conversation and or their vibe is there,
Just
like
as.
kind of like
Yep.
the thing that,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys kind of just meet up and it's just like wow, like
Mm-hmm.
like two old souls meeting.
Yep.
So it's like that's like part of what I do. It's like, so if you find yourself going in on Team Tune Out and finding out what it's about, which will be good, it's like you'll soon start seeing more Team Tune Out things. It's kind of like the name came from being able to tune out anything negative in your environment, or being able to tune out the things that you don't feel like. We all need a break from life
Mm-hmm.
at
Yes,
times.
we do.
So it's like that.
All right, we good. We good. We good. All right, we back from our little cut off real quick. Let's
Okay.
continue talking about Team Tune Out real quick.
Okay, so definitely, what would you like to know about Team Tune Out?
One
Well,
thing I didn't ask, where can we
yes.
find Team Tune Out?
You can find Team Tune Out right now. I'm just on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
which is the hashtag
Yeah.
Team Tune Out, all one word.
I'm gonna put the link in all the description, so It'll be there if you guys want to join. Do you allow any and all members, or is it just specific people that you
No,
allow?
I don't discriminate when it comes to members. What I do keep an eye on is what it is you're posting. So as
Yes.
long as it's something positive and it goes along with the theme, and as we kind of grow up and get a better understanding of what I want Team Tune Out to be, because you got have an idea,
Yeah.
and sometimes somebody comes along and says, "Why don't you do this?" I gotta think about it for a minute. So I'm just aware. I just try to monitor what it is that people post on Team Tune Out. So
Yeah.
that goes through me and or anyone that will be an admin on that team on that page. So right now we're just really getting started.
Yep.
But it's a whole team. It's a whole team. It really is. And my team are like members like you,
Mhm.
our other brother,
Yep.
anybody that's ready to join Team Two now. Because I'm telling you, I get ideas from all over.
Mhm.
And as long as it kind of coincides with what it is that we want the message to be as a whole, then definitely come on, join. Come join.
Yep. Definitely. The link will be in the description, guys. So if you guys want to join and if you're interested,
And soon we'll have some merch as
yep,
well.
yes, we will. Yep. Yep. Yep.
We will.
We'll get
We
that
will.
down ASAP. ASAP.
Yes.
Um, as far as Team Tune Out,
hmm
now we know where we can find you. Now we know what it's about. Where else do you want to take it? Because we're always evolving in life, and we're always, especially when it comes to our own creation, it never stays the same. It always evolves. Where would you like to see it go next?
Well, I would like Team Tune Out to eventually be a name that if you see it, you'll automatically understand what it's about. Meaning, like, I want to see it go worldwide. I wanted to see it reach as many people as possible. I wanted to be able to reach you if you're going through a depressed state, if you're having a good day, if you're having a bad day. I want you to know that you can go there and you can link up with other people. Eventually, I would like to be able to get some mentors in there.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that can. It's really a thing about. It's really a team of support because some of us are lucky enough to have support surrounding us.
Some people aren't
Some
that
people
lucky.
aren't that lucky. So sometimes your support team doesn't necessarily look like your mom, your dad, like the
Exactly.
people that you would think that would be there. But to let you know, like, listen, it's times when I need support and I have to lean back on some of those same words
Mm-hmm.
that I put out there. Or sometimes I'm like, what was I thinking that day? But then you know what? It's like it's a part of growing. So
Yeah.
I'm allowing you to see me grow. So if you had a peek into like the first entry of my journal every day,
Yeah.
this is what you would see. And then the rest of your day is like the rest of your own story. So wherever you lead, wherever life leads you into that. So I definitely would love to see more people participate with what's going on with Team Two now. I would like to be able, besides being able to have merchandise as far as like t-shirts and things like
Mm-hmm.
that, I definitely want it to be a name where it's like if I say Team Two now, then you understand, you know what, this I'm supposed to feel good right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or you know what, I need someone to talk to, and it's always either someone there to connect with. So eventually, hopefully, we'll be able to get our own actual website so that
Yeah.
we can have people on the website and understand like this is what we have going on. Creative minds, so I'm very much into like I told you, being able to create and
Mm-hmm.
being able to have artists connect, and even I think that having artists connect with everyday people would be able to inspire
Inspire.
in
Yep.
both ways
Yep.
and anything. So being able to just connect and do things like that, I would eventually. I see so much growth coming from Team Tune Out that the excitement almost stops me because I'm like more
Mm-hmm.
excited and I wish it could move faster. But it's like being here, having the mentality from up north, which I would say like New York, where everything is kind of fast paced, and living in an environment like Mississippi is slow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like my mind's still on New
Yep.
York, but
Mm-hmm.
my physically I'm
Yep.
in Mississippi, so I can't. You can because technology has changed, so you can do things that are a little different, and you can touch base with people in another way that you couldn't when I was younger. So it's
Yeah.
like some of it is kind of new to me, but some of it is like I never thought of actually doing something like this. So I just see things in a different way. So being able to help Team Tune Out grow in any way, I'm down. I'll post you, I'll post our other brother, I will post anything that I think that is inspiring and someone can get inspirational messages from, or so that they're able to go in a positive direction in your own life
Yeah.
and being or spiritual life, well, however, wherever you're at, it's like kind of like let us
Yeah.
enjoy each other, and then I think when you're in touch with people in this way, you can kind of control what it is because not
Mm-hmm.
everybody can take like a lot of people being in your space, but you
Yeah.
want to be able to share, so this will give you a chance to do that in your own way. So that's what Team Tune Out is about, being able to be who you are in a positive way. And maybe I think a lot of times coming to see people in this way, it's like I didn't get to know some people that have always been like acquaintances. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you like that? Like
Yeah.
you not sometimes before when it was like the only way you really get in contact with people is like if we talk or we kind of network, and networking in person doesn't work for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this is another way to kind of get to know things about a person that you might have been around for a long time, and you just never knew that this was something that they actually like doing. So being able to open up the dialect and the conversation is pretty much what Team Tune Out is about.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got a good question. How do you
Hmm.
deal with opposing opinions, as far as like if someone has a different opinion about you,
About
or
me personally, or
about you, or about like, all right. So for instance, I'm a very opinionated person.
mhm.
I have strong opinions on certain things, but I think the difference between me and like the times we live in now is like nowadays you can't even express yourself if you have a different opinion about something, because then people feel like, no, your opinion is wrong, when everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But nowadays it seems like we can't express our own opinion, and it seems like more or less that it's only one opinion's the right way and the other one, no, we can't talk like that. How do you feel about, how
How
do
do
you
I
deal
feel
with people like
about
that?
how do I deal with people with
Yeah.
strong opinions
Yeah.
or
How do you feel
strong
like,
opposing opinions
yeah,
as opposed to what? Well, I think that some things like like when it comes to killing people, like I'm not
yeah, nah,
killer.
hell
Like
no, yeah,
you probably have some people out there that think a little loopy, like oh, it's not right to kill people, but when it comes to your opinion, I feel like the good thing is that I'm able to listen to what your opinion is and understand who you are,
yeah,
and that's a part of being able to allowing you to become who you are. Like I don't have to agree with you.
exactly,
We can always agree to disagree. I think to be able to have a good meeting of the minds means like two people can have opposing opinions, but we could still be cool
exactly,
outside of
exactly,
having different opinions. So I think that that's a part of who an individual is. So I feel like if you just don't agree with me, that doesn't mean that I don't I don't like you. It just means like I'm opposed to it, and I feel like you should be able to express yourself in any way. I don't think that stifling someone's opinion is a good thing. So I think that being able to express who you are and express your opinion is good. So I feel like I like to listen
yeah,
because then I get either a better understanding of what it is that you're saying or who you are as an individual. So it's always a learning experience. So, and I believe if you keep yourself open to learning and understanding who different people are, you learn more. So
mm-hmm,
you never stop being a student. As much as I could be a teacher or I teach in my own way, I never stop learning. So as long as you leave yourself open to learning and understanding that other people have opinions, and I think you hear things different. You learn how to listen.
mm-hmm,
You know what? We might debate. We might have just a difference in an opinion. I might learn something from listening to you. But if I close myself off, then I won't be able to, I'm not going to be able to hear what you say. I don't agree with everything that everyone says, but I also feel like when you get a little bit more mature, because maturity doesn't necessarily have to do with your age. You could be
We
older,
had this talk on one of our other
right? So
podcasts
you could be
previously.
older and still be kind
Yeah.
of stuck on whatever it is that you're stuck on.
Yep.
But I feel like when you mature a little bit more, you understand how to listen to what it is that other people are saying, how to kind of deal with what it is that you're dealing with in your own way. And it's good. I'm glad that you have a strong opinion. It's good because then that means that you know how to stand on your own and I don't have to hold you up anymore. You know, it's like kind of when you try to teach a child how to walk. It's like, all right, well, how long do you think I'm going to be able to hold you up? Eventually, you're going to have to take the first step on your own to be able to walk on your own, crawl on your own, run on your own, and do all of those things on your own. So while it's good to have, um, opposing opinions, it creates debate, it creates conversation. Can you imagine if we all actually thought alike?
Thought the same. No, and like that's
We won't
the
be
thing.
going nowhere. We went. I don't even think we would be able to have this conversation because there's times when we're like, honestly, we've bumped heads.
Yes,
We bumped heads, but you know what? You it's like, does that mean that I don't love you? Exactly. Does that mean that I don't care about you anymore? No, I just have a difference of an opinion, and when that comes into play, it's like we just gotta learn how to like get along and get through certain things. I just believe something different, and sometimes I think like me being able to move, I think our relationship has grown and being able to understand in a different way because we're physically not here. So it's like, well, you kind of slow down what you're thinking, even though you're here and I'm there. Yeah. You kind of like, well, where's my sister? And I'm like, where's my brother? Are you all right? It's like you learn how to deal with things in a different way because everybody's growing and living and doing things. And I might be doing something you want to do and vice versa. You might be in the cold. You might be like, you know what? She down there in that heat, and I got a short sleeve shirt on for Christmas instead of having this bubble coat on. Like, it's just it's something to be able to understand that it's a beautiful thing, especially like when you're in my position and you get to see someone that I've changed your diapers and you grown. It's like a beautiful thing to see. So it's good to see that you're strong in your opinion and being able to understand that you know what, like other people just have opinions.
Yep,
it's good.
See, a lot of people nowadays like you can't have opinion. Like that's the thing. Like today, like it's annoying when you see like even if you don't agree with that opinion of somebody, like sometimes people don't even let that person get a chance to explain themselves and stuff. Like, bro, like you're doing the exact thing that you hate what other people do. Like you're shutting people out. Like not even letting them express themselves. Like I think that shit is just terrible. And a lot of times, like, I don't agree with certain opinions and stuff. And they be like, oh, how can you be friends with this person or something like that? It's like, just because they have a different opinion on certain things, like, don't mean, like, they're not a good person. Like, if you have an opinion on one thing, doesn't make you a bad person. But that's the thing missing. Another question. Do you think listening is a natural thing or is that a learned trait? Like,
listening?
Yeah.
Excuse me. I think that listening it's both, actually. Because while some people are natural born listeners. Some people are really good at listening. Some people need to learn it. And that brings me back to what I was telling you before about being able to learn and understand and never shut yourself off from learning, because how do you learn? A lot of what we're taught is based on opinions.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to listen. So to a certain extent, I think that listening is a thing that you learn as well as something that you're born with. Because like you might listen in another way. Like you might hear everything that I'm saying, and this has actually happened to me before, where I've said something and I know like that's not actually like what I meant, and they're like, I mean, really like their feelings were really hurt, and I was like you way off. Wait a minute. You way off because that is not nowhere near what I was saying, what I meant, and sometimes I think people just listen for certain things. It's like you waiting for some people to kind of say something, just so it could, like, you could feed off of that. So sometimes
Is that really
being
listening,
able
though?
to having a good listening ear to me means like you're able to listen to many opinions, even criticism, and not necessarily get offended, but grow from it. So I think that's when you have like people who are like what they consider pig-headed, meaning like you only hear one thing.
Yep.
You only hear what you want to hear. So I mean, I'm pretty sure like we've all caught ourselves hearing, hearing what we want to hear, but being able to learn not to do that so much is a good thing. That shows growth.
Yeah.
So I think that being able to listen in another way is something that you eventually learn. And even when I think you're a good listener, is it's also like a natural born listener. I think that as you grow, you learn more. So being able to leave yourself open to learn, and you when you learn, you teach. We're all teachers. Yeah. We're all learners. So being able to leave yourself open to that stuff comes naturally when you're a good listener. Because I didn't always listen. I always heard what I wanted to hear, and I'm like, my opinion got to be final. Like, that's it. You know, I don't even want to hear nothing you got to say. And then you know what? And then I started listening to what other people say, and I'm like, you ain't have to say it like that. Like, you know, like, you know, but this is not what I meant. And I was, okay, you know what? Let me actually leave myself open to listening to what it is that you have. And that comes from having different cultures around you or having other people who are willing to listen to you. Because now, if you're willing to listen to me, what does that make me feel like? Now I'm willing to talk and even listen to what it is that you have to say. So, like, with our relationship, I think what has grown is like being able to watch you mature and grow, and as well as me doing it. So being able to watch you grow up, and me saying like, I gotta sit back and look at some of this stuff sometime and listening to what it is that you have to say. That's why I'm glad that you have. I think it's part of the environment that you grew up in, where it's like, you know, I had a strong opinion, and you know, mommy had a strong opinion. Your dad has that voice where it's like it's extremely strong. So it's like you have no other choice but to be strong. Yeah. And then when you actually experience the world in another way, because remember when I left to go to school, y'all was still, y'all was young. Yeah. And I still was like, I'm going, if you would have known what was going on in my head at that time, I'm going to go be grown and I'm going to go face the world. And then I'm over there, I'm like, I'm ready to go home.
That
like,
shit knock you the fuck out. That shit.
Yeah, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready, you know what? It was nothing like those visits, even though I literally was like 2 hours away. It was like, hold up, like somebody dropped me in the middle of nowhere and they just left me here. And then, you know, I would find myself calling home like, what y'all doing? Like more often than not. And when you, that's the thing when I was, I don't know if I was explaining to you how important it is for people to have their space. Yeah. Like, it's just, I think that's important. It is. For you to have space and you just get to do your own thing in that space. Now, who you invite in that space, that's all on you. Yep. Yeah. So, what else you want to know?
I like this. I got a good question because I get a lot of comments talking about because I got a lot of mothers and stuff like that. Like you never bring somebody who's a mother. I was like, I don't really know people who are mothers. I got a mother right here now. Explain to me about motherhood because that's something like I can't experience. I can't explain. So I want to know from a mother like the experience of being a mother.
Wow. Hold on, excuse me. The experience of being a mother, well, what I want you to do when you ask that question is get a little bit more specific. Like, what exactly is it that you want to know? Because I think everyone's opinion is different. Well, everyone's experience with motherhood is different.
Okay, so I want to like explain for like the viewers who aren't mothers yet but are going to be mothers, like your experience. So you mean
expecting mothers?
No, like your experience as like from once you first became a mother till now, like how has the experience been for you?
Oh, well, you know what? I don't know if it's different for everyone, but for me, having you guys in my life has kind of like I've always been like a nurturer,
Yep.
natural nurturer. So, when it comes to nurturing, that just comes secondhand to me. Whereas some people you might meet or come across may have a more difficult time with making that transition from actually not being a mother to becoming a mother. Now, what I will say is it's definitely a difference when the kid is just like someone that's in your life that you're close with as
Mhm.
opposed to being your child.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole, it's like a turn up. You don't understand. Like, you know what? Somebody like does something to your child, you just like something turns on. It's like a switch that flips. You be like, you did what? Like, I'm that mom where it's like it could seem like I'm a little bit overprotective, but I'm like, to
That's
me,
okay.
like,
There's no. I don't think
yeah,
there's a
I
such
don't
thing
think
as
there's,
overprotective.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's another thing. It's like,
Yeah.
well, you know what? There can be, because there can be some people who are just a little too overbearing for a
Mhm.
situation. So I
Hold
think
on. Let's
that,
close the door because.
oh, we got visitors. So I'll continue to talk. What I was saying was, when it's a little bit when people can be overbearing to your growth
Yeah.
as a person, I think that sometimes it takes a minute for people to get well rounded. So when it comes to like being able to do different things with your child, I think that's a whole learning experience in itself. There is no book, there is no
Mhm.
outline to let you know. People have their ideas of what being a good parent is, but when it comes down to it, I don't personally know any parents who, or moms who just like, it's just something that you do. It's like, well, do you wake up and feed your child, or do you leave your child sitting there starving? No, you're gonna do what it takes. It's like
Mhm.
there's a whole nother instinct that kicks in when you particularly, that I can speak on, is become a mom. It's like I always had that motherly thing about me,
Mhm.
where it's like everywhere I went, I kind of was like, when I went to school, I'm like the dorm mother.
Yeah.
And then like when I'm at work, I'm kind of like that, the big sister, or the mothering kind of
Mhm.
nurturing thing that I do. So I think that because that comes naturally, transitioning from being an expectant mom to being a mom was second nature. It's like the only thing that changed was the way I care about somebody.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, are you all right?
Mhm.
You good?
Mhm.
All right, because I come back, I turn up, somebody messing with you, and then it's like when someone like, just you looking, who you looking at? You looking at my daughter like that? It's different stages of motherhood. So when I'm coming into being a mom and understanding, it's like I didn't realize like some things I'm realizing, and I'm growing as a person through my daughter.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a cool thing. And at the same time, I'm like, should I have waited to have kids? But it's perfect and it's right on time. So being able to be a mom, I think that teaches you how to be a listener,
Yeah.
because you really got to pay attention to what's going on. Like here, like I was telling you how life is here. It's like, fast paced, and, you get up and go, and you just like in your own world. Everybody has their own thing going on. When it comes to being a mom, it's like something else in you is like, it just clicks, where it's like you just in tune with your kids in another way. And everybody has their own style of doing
Mhm.
things, especially when it comes to parenthood. It's like I would never be able to tell you how to be a father.
Mhm.
I could tell you experience what it's like to be a mom. It was like a decision that I made that I wanted, and I made that happen. And it was like, it's a beautiful thing, because you know what, your kids sometimes teach you shit
Yeah.
that you think you know. You like, well, and you be like, wait, hold on, you know what, my daughter takes the phone and she does things, and I'm like, I was born into this generation. I know what I'm doing. You ain't showing me nothing, and that's a part of being, what I'm telling you, is being able to learn things from the people that you create, the people that you have around you. So the people that you create will be your kids, or any of the young ones that you might mentor, influence in a
Yeah.
way, and then you become more aware of who you are and who they will become and what they watch and what they see. It's like you don't necessarily want to be a mentor sometimes, But sometimes, you know what, you thrust it into it. And mentoring is, to me, can be like an extension of being a parent. So I think that since I've always kind of wanted to do that or wanted to take my life in that direction, that parenting kind of came naturally for me.
Yeah.
So as opposed to like someone who found out that they were pregnant and that's not like what they meant, I wouldn't even be able to explain that
Explain. Oh,
experience to you because it was like, I want this, like, you know, and
that's
then when
different.
she's
Yeah.
here, it's like, some things people don't explain to you, but something, even if they explain it to you, your own personal experience can be totally different.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's just like I roll with the punches. It is what it is. I'll be like, you know what, I ain't doing her hair today, but so what? She living. Those
Mm-hmm.
are like, you know, some of the small things you kind of let go and kind of just watching, being able to watch a little you grow. It's like sometimes she's 12. So sometimes I'll be looking at her, I'm like, damn, you like me. Or damn, you like your brother. Well, not your brother because she ain't got no siblings. But you kind of like your uncle, so meaning my
Mm-hmm.
brother. So I'm like, you know what? My brother used to do that stuff. I find myself being like, you know, you just like me. Or you just like your father. You act like, you know what? And it's really them being them and
Mm-hmm.
being able to watch them grow and being able to be with someone through every step. Like, I gave you life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what greater gift is that? What greater gift is there than that?
There
Being
is
able to
none.
be like, listen, I gave you life. You're here because of me. So it's like being able to be a parent, it's undescribable. Until you become one, you don't understand it. It's
Mm-hmm.
like no words that I could really
Clearly,
give
yep.
you to explain what it's like. But to be honest, I'm still learning through it. Some of the things come second nature, like being able to teach them how to brush their teeth and, you know, carry themselves. That's something that you're taught and you kind of pass those things down, and or you learn in some way. So I think being able to become a parent has taught me how to listen in a different way, especially with what I deal with.
Mm-hmm. So speaking on that, as far as cause becoming a parent, you know, of course, you're shaping that child, you're shaping your child, but in the process, you're also growing and you're learning more about yourself. So, what have you learned about yourself since being a parent?
That I didn't realize like how patient I was and how much patience you learn
Yeah.
along the way. So whereas as opposed to where like when you're younger, you like your tolerance for certain things can go on, and when you have kids, it's like, you know, you the things that maybe you didn't pay attention to, you start paying attention to. Like, oh, I don't know if I like that anymore. I don't know if I want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed that kids tend to have that effect on you. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you start asking yourself, like, is this what I want for my child or my life? And things like that. So I think that kids, when you have kids, for me, when I had my daughter, your niece, I started learning, like, oh, what? This slowdown might be a good thing.
Yeah.
And then the listening part, you learn how to listen in a different way because I personally don't want something to happen and then I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
So the slowdown could be good. And sometimes like the rush can be good as well. It's just learning balance, I think. So balance is something that I would say is, for me, something that I learned becoming a parent, understanding like how you balance certain things out and how you do certain things. You know, give your kids some credit for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then sometimes you got to be up close, and sometimes you got to really like sit back and just watch what I a good
Yeah.
conversation.
Well, we back in. It's been an hour now. We got a whole hour in. It
Well,
don't
that's
even
what's
feel
up.
like it. It don't
It
even feel
don't
like it.
see. That's why I'm like when
Mm-hmm.
you start talking and you have a good conversation with someone, it's a good thing because we could keep
Yeah,
going.
no, we keep going. Like the last podcast I did was damn near 3 hours long. It
Yeah,
didn't feel like it
we
at
can
all.
keep going because you having a good. I'm
Hmm.
having a good time. I'm having a good
I'm glad you having a
conversation.
good time here.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to be in good company because I walk out. I don't know what this guy is talking about. I got to go. It could be like that, but you have a good time. And like I was saying, when it comes to having kids, they watch you, so you start
Yes, they
learning.
do.
You
They pick
start
up on
learning.
everything, bad habits and everything.
Sometimes you know what? I find myself seeing some of my bad habits happen right before
Right in
me, and
front of
I'm
you, and it's
like,
like,
God,
damn.
I ain't know I did that. I did that. I do that. You know what? You right. And sometimes it be the same thing that the people around you try to tell you
That you
that
don't
you
want to
would,
listen to.
that you don't want to listen to. Your kids just show you in another way. You like,
Hmm.
ooh, I did do that. I did do that. I
Yeah.
did. It's like that's a part of me. Oh, okay. And then sometimes they teach you some beautiful things about yourself.
Hmm.
Like you didn't realize you were like creative like that. Maybe you didn't realize like I'm a really good listener. Sometimes you didn't realize like I could really think on my feet quickly. So it's a learning experience. Like
Yeah,
I said, I'll always say that it's definitely a learning experience.
it
And you
definitely
gotta
is.
definitely take advantage of that. I can't imagine having kids and not like realizing what a gift it is, because they really are a gift. It's like I can't imagine. Like it was a point where I was the only kid, and then you and Raphael came along, and I'm like, man, I don't want no brothers.
Man,
And then I
fuck
was
them
like,
kids.
no. And then I was like, I was actually excited when you guys were being born. It was like, they was like, where they show the videos of the kids and they be like, oh, you're going to have a little brother or sister. And they
And they
just bust
start,
out
yeah,
crying.
crying, yeah.
That wasn't me. I'm like, for real? I'm about to have another. And then when Raphael came, it was like a shock. When you came, they was like, you better watch out when you go home. Your mom might have another little brother or sister for you. I'm like, you know what y'all doing when we gone? I just keep popping up with brothers. But it was cool. It was cool. It was really like I was ready to be a big sister.
Yeah.
And then that transition, that helped being around you guys, I think, helped transition me to being a mom and being able to be what I think is a good mother. Like a mother willing to learn. Like I'm learning all kinds of stuff with my
Hmm.
daughter. I'm like, we could do sign language. We could communicate in different ways. We could just like she sits there and she's showing me stuff. I'm like, this is why I'm telling you about that role about teaching and learning. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you really learn from your kids. And sometimes, obviously, you're the one who's teaching your kids more, but learning from them, it's like it blows your mind. Cause you like, well, I thought I knew more than this little person, and they showing you
They showing
stuff.
you something, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing. Now, how do you think you would be as a parent?
Me?
And
I
projecting out, because maybe one day when you have kids, we'll look back at this.
Man, I honestly I don't know how I'd be as a father. I would hope I'm a good father. But of course, I'm a very introspective person. Um so I know my good qualities, but I also know my bad qualities. Like I
Mm.
said, um I know, like, I'm also a coach. So I'm more like, I'm very, when it comes to kids, I'm very strict. And that comes with any kids in my life, like little sisters, or stepsisters, or nieces and nephews. I've always been more on the stricter side, and sometimes I would like to be a little bit more gentler, but I don't know how to. Um, so as far as that, that's one thing I definitely need to work on.
Okay, wait, hold on. I gotta.
we gotta adjust the
Yeah,
wardrobe real quick.
yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit. But you know what? Actually, going off of what you said about being a little bit more gentle, I think that'll come with time. You just
Yeah,
learn how to be, because maybe that's a part of growing.
yeah,
That's a part of growing. I think I was extremely firm when it came to you guys about certain things, but I knew like I always just tried to balance out what it was that I wanted to do. So it's like
yeah,
we have our times where I'm like, look, you're gonna have to sit down and do your homework. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like education was
Important.
extremely
Yeah.
important. So you know what? I might not be able to get mine the way I want to, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was something that like I wanted to be able to experience with you guys or understand with you guys, even from going on trips with you guys.
Yeah.
You know, you find ways to be less lenient. So the way I found to do things is to be firm. In other words, what I said is what I said.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're going to do is what I said. But it doesn't have to be like, I have that in my head. I don't have to communicate that with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to have you do exactly what I asked you to do. And you're going to do it.
I think we're both the same on that aspect. Yeah.
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 Yeah, but then like it can be fun because once you get through that,
Yeah.
we about to trip. We about to have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just being able to show both sides of the coin and who you are and being able to do those things makes you a well-rounded person. So you'll learn how to do that. It's really a gift to be able to do that. I'm still trying to get it. You'll just be able to learn how to do it. So being able to don't be so hard on yourself
Mm-hmm.
because you'll get to it. It's like you're just making your own growing adjustments. And I also think, like I told you, when you actually have kids on this earth, you'll see. It's like you say that I'm gonna beat my kids if they try that. It's like,
It's like,
and then
would you
know
really?
what you can't you ain't gonna beat them kids. You will find your own self making your own adjustments.
Yeah.
So you'll be fine. I think you'll make a good dad.
Eventually.
You're a great uncle.
I know. Yeah. But as far
Oh,
as
you know.
having, as far, yeah, I know. I think I'm pretty good. I think I'm pretty good. But as far as having my own kids, not ready yet. Uh, I would like if I do have kids. One thing that I think I, like I said, I gave one negative. Let's go. Always go and with the positive. Um, teaching kids, because one thing that I got an opportunity to do because of my father, the old man. I didn't like. Sure, like the formal education, like as far as going to school was important, but he also taught us like, cause sad to say, but a lot of the stuff that they teach you in school isn't what's really what's real. So a lot of things he would tell us to go search for our own answers. Like as far as like back in the day, there was no cell phones, there was no none of that, so you couldn't look stuff up. So like if we would be like, oh, how do you spell this word? Well, go look it up in the dictionary. Go do it yourself. He taught us like, don't just ask people for help, basically, and go look for it yourself and find your own answers and come up with your own conclusion. That's one thing that I think I would benefit as a father. That's one good thing I think I can do.
So you mean like teaching your kids how to be independent?
Independent, yeah,
thinkers.
that's one thing, and that's another thing, yeah, being
Yeah.
independent. He always taught us like
But not just being able to be independent, but being able to think on your own.
think on your own and have your own opinion and not just follow whatever. He always taught us be
You
a
don't
leader, not a
follow.
follower.
We don't play that.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't
that
follow.
was one of the big things in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always had to you're more than free. Like there's a line that you don't cross.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like I want to know what you think because
Yeah.
I want to see like you're your own person. So I want to know what you think. Like I have conversations with my daughter.
Yeah.
I'm saying over here like, well, why do you what is it? What is it that you want? I want her, at least with me, be able to express yourself because that's one of the most important things in life. Because how do you think your opinion got so strong?
True. Yeah.
Being able to express yourself.
Yeah. And but the thing, our house was a little different than everybody else's. I think for the simple fact, it's either you fall on two spectrum. It's either you were on the
Excuse me, but
where
I'm listening.
yeah, where you couldn't express yourself, and what your parents said was like that's it.
Was
There's
law.
or it was you say whatever the fuck you want. With us, it was you speak your opinion, but you speak your opinion respectfully.
Right.
And I think that's the difference between the way we were raised and the way most people were raised. And I think that's a little bit why like communication today is now a little bit skewed. Like you can't just have a conversation with opposing views without people either getting offended or just shutting you out completely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like one of the things as far as like the way we grew up that I struggle with, like even with people just my age, like because we were like I've noticed like we were raised completely different than like everybody else because not everybody like is. I think we were fortunate to have parents like that we had, um, as far as being able to express ourselves, and that's like a big thing. Like as far as I think that more parents need to do, like especially the like people like my age and a little bit older that are thinking about having kids or having kids, is to um, just be able to communicate with your kids. Don't think that your word is just law, because I mean there's certain things that we think are right that really just there's other ways to do things like. But yeah, before I go off on a tangent, yeah, being able to just speak freely but respectfully, that's one of the big things like that I feel is important.
It is. It is important, and just allowing you to be able to grow and understand how other people work, because now with that you have a strong opinion, but you also have a guideline as to what listening is about.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to listen to other people shows your growth. Like I remember the first time you guys kind of try to like you came and you were saying something. You guys were arguing about something, but the argument went totally different than what I was used to. And I was like, I told you that. I was like, he's growing. Like, it's like it's shocking, but it's also a beautiful thing to be able to see, like the person that you had a little help with and raising understand like this is how you grow.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you grow. You can't always like have your way. You can most definitely have a strong opinion. And I'm willing to listen. And I think that like that throws people off that I
Yeah.
deal with, because yeah, I am a strong person and what I say is what I say. But that doesn't mean that I'm completely closed off
Exactly.
from listening to what it is that you have to say. So I will listen, but at the same time, like I'm gonna say what it is that I wanna say. It's
Mm-hmm.
just words. It's not like I'm being malicious towards you, but I'm also letting you know how
How
this
you
is how
feel?
I
Yeah.
feel. And
Exactly.
I feel like when you have a balanced relationship, or a good relationship, is someone that actually listens to what it is that you have to say as much as they want you to be able to listen to what it is that they have to say.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Apollo.
She can see if she wants it.
Yeah, just ask it. Apollo, you want to stay in or you want to go? All right, I guess Apollo's staying. He don't feel like dealing with Roman shit.
So yeah, that was what I was explaining to you, is about like being able to listen to people and explain. It's like as strong as I am, you're just gonna have to respect
Yeah.
what my opinion is. And to me, respect means like I'm willing to listen to you, but that doesn't mean that what you say is gonna change my mind.
Mm-hmm.
What you say may actually help to shape me, because I might not know. I might just not
Exactly.
know anything. I might not know that that's the way you feel, or I might not understand what your perspective is. So I think leaving yourself open to understanding and being able to respect other people teaches you how to grow. But at the same time, I don't have to change my opinion because you want me to, because you said
Exactly.
so. So that's where like, I bump heads with people. But I feel like that's another way of being able to grow. We might need to bump heads. I mean, we're
Mm-hmm.
not always gonna have
The
a
same. Yeah.
civilized conversation or the same opinion or understanding that you just have a different opinion. Sometimes you got to talk yourself through that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you really got to have you got to have the debate or the argument or whatever it is that you want to label it as.
Yep.
And then sometimes you also need to go to your
That's the cool off.
respective
I call it
corner
cool off.
and just kind of like understand that, like, okay, well, let me kind of decipher
Cipher.
or
Yep.
understand what it is that this person was
The same.
saying.
Yep.
Like, I might not agree, but I think that like through debate and through those differences is what helps you grow.
Yes, it
Because
does.
if we all saying the same thing, you ain't really growing.
Mm-hmm.
You're just being kind of complicit to what it is that's going
Everything.
on.
Yep.
So even whether it's a current event, whether it's like something that's actually going on in the moment, if this is life and this is it, it's like I found myself like just being in the mood and being in a place, and then like I'm in a public place, and like while I can't turn up like like I might want to, but I found myself being like aggravated with certain things, and then realizing like the person was like, well, I was gonna let you go anyway. And then I was like, I bet you was. And then you know what? I gotta go in the car and be like, dang, I ain't mean to do that. Like, it's so like, that's a part of growing.
Yeah, it is.
That's a part of growing. So it's like, you take those experiences. Like, we don't always have the best moments. There's no one that's like always camera ready, always ready to just, talk on a dime. I mean, it's a beautiful thing if you can. But I don't think that there's one person that's just ready to just do everything.
Days,
You always have your days. It's unrealistic to believe that
and it's okay to have
someone is like chipper all the time. Like, yeah, hey, yeah, I'm down to talk.
Exactly.
It's not like that. It's like realistically, nah, you know what? I'm not really having a good day. I think what needs to go on from what I notice is that people just need to respect that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? You having a bad day? You know what? It's all right. You can have a bad day. You understand that I can have a bad day, right? Does that mean that I don't like you? I don't love you? I don't care about you? That's not it. It's not. It's just I'm literally having not a good day. Like, things aren't going the way I want them to, or the things aren't going the way that I expect them to. Either or. But, you kind of got to give people space and time to figure out things. And it's just it's a good thing. You learn through, trials and tribulations of what life.
I'm getting a whole glass. We don't.
Oh, we trying to, because I think I finished. You know what? I finished the bottle.
God damn it.
And if I would have known, I would have went to the store and I would have got another one.
What time is it? Well,
we can always pause and continue.
Yes, we can. We can always do that.
We can always pause because you know what? I'm going to eat in a little while.
I'm
going to eat in a little while and come right back to this. I'll be ready. I'll be down. So, you know what I wanted to ask you?
What's up?
Like, how do you find yourself? In what ways do you think that you're creative? Like, no, actually, before you answer that, what I wanted to know is, when you look at Team Tune Out, which is my team, what is it that you think about? Like, how do you feel when you see Team Tune Out? Because we never really actually discussed that.
No. More or less what I think about it, I see more of like the mental health aspect and just being able, basically same thing like I do here. It's a place to speak your mind, and it's just a platform for you to express yourself. Like I said, I don't feel like there's that many places like especially on this whole internet social media type of day and age that we live in. Everything has to be like perfect. Everything has to be, you're either happy or doing good. Some days, like I said, we're not always like in a good mood, and that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Being able to have a place where you can express that and just talk about that and actually like get it. Not only just be in that bad mood, but find a way to get out that funk, as I call it. Get out of that and get into that good place. That's a place where you can go and express yourself. Or see it night. Like, some days, I'll be having a bad day or whatever, and I go on Facebook and shit. Because I barely use my phone. I'm barely on social media, contrary to popular belief. But when I do go on, like, and most times, like, when I'm in a bad mood and I go on Facebook or whatever, I see a quote that you post or something. And I sit there and I think about it. And, I'm like, you know what, my day's not so bad, And it helps me. It helps me. It's like therapy. So that's what I like about it. It's like, it's a like a therapy space. That's what I like about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I definitely hope, like, you get more involved with it because I think being able to share the things that you're going through, everybody needs some kind of what we really need to do is take the stigma off of what mental health is, because that's extremely important. Because if you're not right mentally,
you're not right at all.
I just don't feel like anything works for you. No. Like, I found, like, people say, push yourself physically, but without saying, like, well, what about the mental aspect of life? Because you need to have some kind of balance between your mental and your physical or what's going on. It helps you kind of understand who you are, your space around you, things like that. Yeah. So I think mental health is most definitely one of the top parts. I think a lot of the physical ailments and things that go on with us has to do with
With the mental
where your
side.
mental is. So if your mental isn't right, then I think a lot of times like your physical isn't right. So I think the two go actually hand in hand.
Yeah.
Mentally, I need to be prepared. Like, don't you have to prepare yourself mentally to like get out of the bed? Like,
Yeah.
don't you tell yourself in the
Mm-hmm.
morning, all right, my alarm's going off and like I gotta get up, I gotta go to work. I gotta go to work because I gotta maintain my lifestyle.
Yeah.
So it's like that's mental to me. So mental and being able to understand something physically go hand in hand to me.
Yeah. No, I talked about this on a lot on one of my podcasts previously. That just like how physically, let's say if you want to physically get stronger, you go to the gym. There's no different than like if you want to like mentally get better, you have to find a way to work. Your brain is a muscle. The way you feel is also, you gotta learn to work that out. You gotta work. You just gotta work it out the same way you would a muscle. That's what you gotta do with your mental health. You gotta just work it out. I think that's important for people to understand that. Like mental health is just as important as physical health.
Yes, that's why it's important for me to have people who understand. Like, you know, mental health to me it's become something that the meaning has changed over time. It's
You
more
all out the
important.
shot.
What happened? Oh, I'm out of the shot.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm sorry.
you go all over here and shit.
I'm sorry. So you just seeing my leg and my hand. Well, like for me, mental health has become a thing where it's like it's extremely important because I want to make sure that the people around me, even if we don't get along per se, I want to make sure you are right mentally.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to understand that aspect of life for some people, I might not understand. I might not never understand what it is that you're going through or what you're dealing with. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to ever close you off or I'm ever going to say like, I don't feel like hearing about what you're going through. Now, there are times when you don't really,
But
you really
never
feel
say
like that.
shit
But
like
you,
that.
it's
Yeah.
like, you know, I do care. And I do
Mhm.
want to know what it is that you're going through because if I can help you in any way mentally, then I fulfilled my purpose. And that's what I'm here for. So there are people that like I actually have just conversations with
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, you know, I work away and I think like, you know, like you think you kind of like own the situation in or like kind of like you went in the direction that you wanted to go in, but they'll leave you with some things to think about. And it's like, damn, let me think about it. And then when you think about it, it's like, for me, I'm like, I don't know if I'm having a profound moment or what is going on, but it's like it's a good thing. I don't think it's ever really a bad thing unless you like way off with some, you know, some people are just
That's way
disturbed.
off,
Like
yeah.
my help doesn't come like that. Like I have no experience with that, but I think like being able to like at least point someone in the right direction and or do your best with the people that are in your immediate space or your immediate mental space or physical space and being able to understand those things about people is extremely important because you never know like what you stop someone from either from doing. You know, and the great thing is being able to understand that allowing you leave yourself open so that someone can come to you. Because you just never know how you affect someone. And being able to know, like, you know what? I've helped some people, and some people have really helped me.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we all experience highs and lows through life. So being able to understand that, you know what? Just that joke that you told was like, it took me from being in a bad space or having a bad day to being in a really good space. And now like I look at you a different way because you know right now you ain't professionally a comedian, but you brought a smile to my face. Or you know you made me feel good at a time when I wasn't feeling so good. It's like it could be difficult, especially when you're the person that people kind of look at and lean on, and you're that person, you know. No one really asks you how you're doing, how you feeling, and it feels strange. I know personally, I'm telling you that it becomes difficult to always be that person that's there for
Oh no,
someone,
I
for someone
understand that
else. So,
completely. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you get it.
Mhm.
But being strong, I think sometimes you get
It's
looked
draining.
over,
Yeah.
and it can be
Yeah.
extremely draining.
Mhm.
And sometimes people think that you're so strong that you're a superhero, and they don't realize like Superman. We all got kryptonite. We
Yeah,
all
we
got
do.
things that
Yes. Yeah.
moments that make us weak, or where you know what, as strong as I seem, I might need you.
Mhm.
So being there and showing someone else that you're there, I think shows extreme growth.
Yeah.
And that allows you, I'm growing, and sometimes I don't realize, I might be, I might be saying some things out of anger that I don't necessarily mean.
All right, we back. We back. I don't remember where we left off, so we gonna switch topics.
Yeah.
All right, I got distracted. All right, new topic. New topic. Let's see what else. Let's see what else we could talk about.
Any questions you got?
What are current struggles that you're facing right now? I always ask people that question.
Current struggles?
Yes.
I don't want to say I don't have any.
Don't have to be big. It could be minor. It don't have to.
Okay, try getting my business started, getting things going a little bit more with team tune out.
Yes.
That's what I'm struggling with, trying to get that started, and really having it taken off to a vision something that I envision, and bringing other people in, because I think, like I always tell you, or what we've been discussing, is that being able to have other people come in and not necessarily direct it, because I know where it is that I would like to see it go, but to actually have other people come in with fresh ideas and understanding, and learning from them.
That definitely helps. Getting different people's opinions
So
bouncing off.
yeah,
it helps. Yeah.
kind of maybe I need that one or two or team of people
Yep.
that'll come through and be like, look, this is what I understand what it is that you're talking about, or what it is that you're saying, and be able to take what it is that I'm saying and assist with being able to get to another level, or seeing what it is that we all can do.
I'm out the shot now. All right, there we go.
All right,
Now,
yeah, come on in.
Be closer.
Or being able to do that. So that's one of my struggles. I don't look at too much as it could be a struggle, but because I'm such a strong person,
It's an obstacle.
it's just like life.
Yeah.
It could be like that. It's just more like, this is what it is. And, so I don't, when you say struggle, I feel like I got to focus on one thing and tell you what it is that I'm having a hard time with. And it's not necessarily a hard time. It's just what it is at the moment. That things don't always last. So, I just want to hurry up and get through something else.
Yeah.
Like trying to get to the next level of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at right now. Trying to get team tune out, trying to reach other people, trying to get the thought out there and let them know what it is, and being able to get that out there.
Yeah.
Because it's more of for some people it's a spiritual thing, for some people it's a physical thing, for some it's a mental.
Yeah. Definitely.
And being able to bring those three things, because whatever it is that you feel like team tune out is really it's what it is, team, and then you tuning out the negative and kind of tapping into who you are.
Yeah.
And understanding you're free to have your opinion over here. We're not judging you. I'm not judging you. I just want you to be able to get it out in a positive way, so that maybe you're stuck. Maybe you can move forward. Maybe this is where you're going to drop everything and understand that the world is a lot bigger, as well as smaller than what we think it is.
Yep.
So being able to get that out there, and also meeting up with other people and getting some of the ideas that I have out there.
Yeah.
I wish I would have got started sooner. But at the same time, I think it just comes naturally. These are the things. There's no late, no on time when it comes to to Team Tune Out. We late and we on time and we early.
Yep.
So that's how it is. It's
Yep.
just a mixture of different people, different opinions, and understanding that this platform right here is where we're gonna start uncovering things and understanding each other in a better way.
Yeah.
So being able to understand people in a better way is definitely a direction that I want to see it growing. I want to be able to say like I took it from here and now I'm here. Or we're here. Not just me, but it's a thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, even people who maybe never thought of themselves of being able to get involved with the team and understanding like, well, this is what this team means. It might not be the same thing, might not be a cup of tea. You might not think that you need it right now, but even if it's there and you're able to come back to it later, like we're always there.
Yeah.
We're always here for each other. Like, let's fight, let's argue, let's debate, and then let's get through it. Because they tell you to get through things. People put that out there, but like, how do you
How
get
do you
through
get
things?
through it? Exactly.
It's like, well, let's start taking the steps and uncovering whatever it is that you need to uncover, even if it's a little bit painful. Because I mean, I'm a person, I go through things. So being able to like hold hands with someone else, whether it's actually physically or metaphorically or mentally, helps. It helps. So being able to go through those things and growing and seeing other people grow, make progress. Like I'm glad when I see like people making progress, even if you're not in the team, but I know you're attached in some way. I'm checking for you. Like, you good? You know, I probably could be a little bit annoying to some, but I don't care. You know what? I'll just be annoying because I just really want to know if you all right. You good? We need to have a conversation. It's good because I feel like, you know what? Sometimes you don't meet other people that are like that. And sometimes people are more apprehensive to being like that because they don't know, like, how are you going to take it? Like, where's your mental at today?
Yeah.
Like, let's do a mental check because that's more important. Because I'd rather for you to, like, get what it is. Even if you get what it is and you never come back to Team Soon Out, I like to know that, like,
you're in a better place.
You're in a better place, that you're doing good. And then, like, you know, like, I get influenced with the stuff. Some of the stuff I make up, some of the things I find, it's just what about this quote speaks to me. So, like, even throughout the day, I'd like to be able to post a little bit more and have other people come in and post and, you know, let it know, like, I'm happy, I'm sad.
Yeah.
I'm having good days, I'm having a right day, I'm having a bad day, whatever it is, but I just don't want it to be a place where we like there's too much conflict going on. I don't want that. And I definitely want it to be like, listen, even if you meet up through teams who now know like this is a place to love. Like we really care about each other and this is what we're gonna do to make our mark on the world and make the world a better place, the best that we can. Because it could be a struggle.
Yeah.
So I just don't want, you know, to be like it. Like, it's kind of like that Erykah Badu song. Like, you know, like the whole world needs to be saved. Like, where do I start? Which way do I go? What do I do? And then it's like, this is a place where we could start. And it might not be Team Tune Out no more. It might be something else. Or it might be, it might develop or I don't see it like really deteriorating, so to say, or dissolving. But I see it becoming something more growing and evolving. I definitely want to see that. And growing and evolving meaning like we can understand that we all have a difference of an opinion. So what's up? That's how I feel. So like now let me ask you a question because I'm always curious. I just don't ask the questions. But if you could come in and change something or do something with Team Tune Out, like what would you leave? What kind of mark would you leave on Team Tune Out going forward? Even like if you haven't done it before, like what is it that like you want to add?
I would share my experiences. Like I'm very comfortable with being uncomfortable, if that makes any sense. So I like because I know like as a human I'm not the only one who deals with like the shit I deal with like in my most vulnerable moments. So like as far as like being able to express like, you know, like I went through this is how like I dealt with it and it changed me in this way and uh, also at the end of saying all of that, being able to say I'm grateful that this happened because it changed me and it helped me improve in this sort of way in my life. That'll help. Like I feel like that helps people who might not necessarily be going through the same exact thing, but going through something similar, but feeling like that they can't talk about it because either it's embarrassing or they just feel like they can't talk about it. Maybe that seeing somebody else talk about their most vulnerable state or a vulnerable state that they were in, maybe I can talk about it. And I think like that along goes with also with therapy. I feel like when some certain people go to therapy, I was talking on this on one podcast, that there's this halo effect, that people only want to talk about the good stuff. But that's not in therapy and stuff and in life that's not going to help you because we all have like those funky sides of us where we have to talk about that to be able to evolve and grow through that. So I feel that's important, and that's what I would do. I would, cause like I said, I'm not perfect. So.
That's what you would add to Team Tune
Yeah.
Out. So would you be willing to make a post like, say, once a week to help some of
Yeah.
your growth?
Yeah.
So like you make a post once a week, and we can watch you evolve.
Definitely. No, I definitely would do
Like
that.
what I would like to see is like one person from my team invite some more people,
Yeah.
and let's have like, when I think of Team Tune Out, I think of a place that's like where we can all have a discussion, whether you're sitting on a pillow, whether you're sitting in the middle of your bed, whether you're sitting at a table, whether you're sitting like in a crowd of people, wherever you are, is that this is a place where you can have an opinion. We can have a good time. Like, let's not forget the good times.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. But in reality, like, we have bad times too. So let's think of a way that we can discuss some things and get a better understanding of who we are individually as well as within this group. So understand there's gonna be a difference of an opinion. That's the good thing. That's how we grow.
Yeah.
Definitely
most
want to see
definitely.
like all of us grow
Yeah.
in good ways, positive ways. Like maybe we'll get put on. Maybe maybe there's somebody out there that would understand like what it is that I'm trying to say and actually come around and give a helping hand to Team Tune Out. Although we're not where we want to be or where I would like to see us go, but to be able to see those things come alive is the type of growth that I would like to see.
Definitely.
So, like, definitely, like, come on.
I will.
Let me know your thoughts. What's going on? It's a good way to, like, keep in contact for us personally and watch our relationship grow as well as watching you grow as an individual is, like, I'm blessed. I'm happy. I'm glad I get to see those things. I'm glad I get to see. It's like the little things. Even when you were asking me about what it's like to kind of have kids or go through that, it's like being able to watch yourself grow in another, like literally, like you take a piece of me and watch it grow.
Yeah.
And you doing what you can to help it grow, but you also get to like witness. Like sometimes I'm looking at like this, like I know it's real because you're really here, but it's just like, wow. Like there's a piece of me walking around that's actually there that I get to help like shape and mold in another way that I would never have with another individual. It's different. So each one of your kids, I think, even though I only have one, it's like having this one, and I try to imagine like, what would it be like if I had more? I want some more. So being able to put that out there or understand like with your kids, like I will definitely want mine to be able to like see something positive and understand that like this is a part of who you are. So even if you don't hear it from me, this is what it is because I can put it in my own words as opposed to someone just trying to explain to you who I am or what it is. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that there are people out there who don't necessarily know who I am or what I'm about, and maybe this platform will show and allow people to understand where I'm coming from and where I'm at. And I want to know what it is that you think. No, it's not just for opportunities, but to also like let's do something together. Let's link up. Is this what you have in mind? Like, because then maybe I can give you the push and vice versa. Maybe you can give me the push that I need, and just never know how things grow, and are, well, I just want to see
Yeah.
so much growth. That's what I want to see. I want to see growth from everyone that's on my team, everyone that joins the team, people who just come see it, and people who just like this really actually, like, when I get those phone calls that, like, like, what you actually said meant something to me. Like, that makes me feel like I got to keep going. So that's what I use to give me the push that I need to, like, keep posting this.
Yeah.
Some days you'll see me posting. I'm like, am I being too annoying to people?
No.
Because I'm not really getting, like,
I think we both, not hearing you talking, like thinking of the say, like we fall into that same thing. So with me, like I'm always checking up on like my friends and stuff, making sure they're okay or whatever. And I'm always, I like in my head, it's like I'd rather be that annoying friend that asks how you doing if you're okay, than to be that friend that's just assumes how you feel and everything.
right.
So yeah, but no, that thought always went, am I being too annoying? Let me not hit him up today. Like that runs through my head a lot too. But I try to like block that side out because you just never know like who needs to hear something or who needs somebody to talk to them or ask how, just a simple how are you doing. So I think that like not a lot of people do that nowadays. People just don't ask how, like, how do you feel today? Like, how was your day? Nobody.
Yeah, it's kind of like that theory. You ever walk down the street and someone will be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And you be like, "Well," like I found myself like people will be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm good," and you, and then nothing. You don't get an
Yeah,
answer.
they're already walking away.
It's like, like, do you understand what it is that you're saying, or you just saying it because
Yeah,
it's something
exactly.
to be said? Like when someone, like, I might not feel like having a full blown conversation
But at least
all the
respond. Like,
time, but like sometimes I'm like, damn, you ain't even gonna answer. Like, you're asking me how I'm doing, and I turn around and say, I'm good. How about you? I personally am looking for you to say
exactly.
how it is that you feel. But sometimes I just be like, let me let it go, because it's not that big of a deal. So now, like, when you feel like, what was it that you said? Like, okay, like, do you think that makes you more apprehensive to ask someone how they feel because you feel like you don't want to annoy them?
A certain, yeah, to a certain aspect, depending on the person I'm dealing with. A lot of times, like I know the person, so I know like some like certain people just get annoyed easily. Like if you keep asking, "Are you okay? You okay? You okay?" But like even then, that still doesn't stop me from asking because at least I'm asking because you never know like who like if anybody's ever checking up on that person. You never know like, so I'm not more apprehensive. I still do it, but that thought does pass in my head where it's like, am I being annoying? But I like I say fuck it and just act still because you never know what that person's going through.
Right. Because I was going
Yeah.
to say, I hope you still ask.
No,
Because
I act.
I'll just be the annoying person. Because you know what? I get like that sometimes. Sometimes I honestly, I don't want to be bothered with people that are, I don't want to say people that are around, but sometimes like I'm annoyed and I just,
Mhm.
it's not any like, it's not something that someone necessarily did to me. Sometimes it's just, I, I always tell you like space is important, and then
Mhm.
what I mean by that is 'cause I personally I need space.
Yeah.
Like I need some time to think about some things. Like sometimes I feel like you kind of leave yourself open to things that are going on in the world, and it could be a bit much
Yep.
for people. And so sometimes I'm one of those people. Sometimes I be like, like
A
the do
lot of
not
yeah.
disturb sign is like all on my face.
Yep.
Like I'm not necessarily like walking around with a shirt or like walking around with a sign that says do not disturb, but I feel like that. Like I need some time to kind of like
Mhm.
decipher or sift through all the information that sometimes you get. And I'm like, well, is it me or this just didn't make sense? And then
Mm.
I started talking to people. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have kept that to myself because
Mhm.
then maybe like, we'll have a better understanding. But that's a part of where I'm growing and growth because I feel like I like people that I can have a conversation with. I
Yeah.
just don't want to have the conversation every waking minute of the day.
Exactly.
But I would like to have some intelligent conversation, like what I see as being intelligent, like anything that assists you in growing, and
Mm,
not just allowing somebody to point you in a direction,
yeah.
like go over there and do that. Like, I don't even want to be that person for
Nope.
you, because then if I send you in the wrong direction, who you gonna be mad at, me or you?
Exactly.
You gonna be mad at the both of us.
When it comes to stuff like that, like as far as helping with growth, I
Hmm.
give people examples of the only experience that I know as far as that. So that's myself. So this is how I dealt with it. I'm giving you tips on how you can go about it, but your struggle is going to be a little, your plight there is going to be a little bit different than mine. But here are some little tools how I dealt with it. Now you take those tools and you come up with your own tools as well too, and you'll come there. But I'm not going to give you like I'm not going to tell you this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. Life doesn't work that way because everybody deals with things differently. Everybody's a different person. So I feel like yeah, no, that's a great thing to do as
Hmm.
far as when it comes to guiding people. And some people actually take offense to that too, as far as like, oh, I was asking you like for help, like yeah, but I'm not asking for help is different than giving you something. I feel like sometimes people want you to give them stuff like, how'd you do this? Like how I'm telling you how I did it, but believe me, it's not gonna go the same way for me as it is gonna be for you. So take those suggestions and take that advice and do what you want with it. But you still have to come up with your own thing. That goes back to like I said, how we were raised. The old man will say, "You go up and look for it. You go up and do it. Be self sufficient. Be a leader." So yeah, I think yeah, everything all falls into place. Like, everything is like a big circle.
But yeah, see, I used to think that I'd be like, what is he talking about? Like, go find something, and I didn't realize how much strength it has. Because we have different fathers, so
Mhm.
when it comes to like doing things, like okay, you still have your dad, and I lost my dad when I
Mhm.
was, let me see, 15,
Mhm.
14. That gave me a different kind of strength. So it was like, I just had to keep being strong. I had to keep going. I had to, like, even though the days like I'm probably beat down. I'm tired. I'm ready to go, like, go to
Mhm.
sleep, literally. I felt like I gotta keep going. I gotta keep doing some things, and they both have it. Like I think I've always had strong figures in general in my life, and they just like your dad was like that. Like, you know what? And he always asking questions. I'll be like, I'm a little sensitive right now. Like, I don't know what it is, but I feel a little sensitive right at this moment. And like, I'm not feeling what you're saying. And then I would watch his interaction with you guys. I'm like, Mister, why are you treating you like this? Because when it was my turn, it was totally different. But then I had to realize when I got a little, I was like, I'm a girl. And now that I have a
Mhm.
daughter, I'm like, okay, I kind of understand
Yeah.
why they did the things the way that they did. But he never told me to like dumb myself down
Exactly.
or be weak or anything like that. He always like assisted when it came to being a stronger individual as a person. Because I mean, I'm listening to your opinion. I learned to listen in a different way. In other words, like, I don't have to meet you at Turn Up Street. I don't got to turn up with you. It doesn't mean like, do you know what it is that I'm thinking?
Mm-mm.
You can't read my mind.
Mm-mm.
Some things you can read about what it is that I'm thinking. So to a certain extent, you can.
Yeah.
But some things you have no idea what it is that I'm thinking. You you ever listen to someone talk and they like telling you what they think and then what they think you think?
When they're projecting, yes, that happens a
Uh,
lot. And I like that's one time like when it comes to people talking and having conversations, like I listen, but once they start telling me how I'm feeling, like that's when I gotta cut you off because now you're like more or less putting how you think I feel, but really that's how you feel, how I feel about you, and it's like no, don't do that because now we're not like the conversation is like going all over the place, and don't do that. Like that's one of
yeah,
the
it's
big
not like
things.
it's not. I've had I like to talk. people.
Yeah.
But I'm like, some of the things that I find that have been happening to me as of lately, I should say, I'm like, that you way off in your thought. Like, and I
Mhm.
literally feel like when I talk to certain people, I wish I had a mirror. Because what is it that you see that I don't see? Because
Mhm.
that's I'm not even saying anything. I'm literally giving you a chance to speak and tell me how you feel. And then it's like gone in the wind.
Mhm.
Like it's like you were saying, like they kind of project what it is
Yep.
that they think that you think. And I'm like you
Way
way
the fuck
off.
off. Way off.
I'm nowhere near that thought process. It's just I'm actually listening to what it is, and I can converse as well as listen at the same time. So as you're talking to me, I'm listening to everything that you're saying. We're just conversing. It's just like
Mhm.
a back and forth. Some people have to have a conversation where they're talking or you're talking, and
Mhm.
they can't talk and listen at the same time. I think I'm better at when it comes to talking and listening,
Yeah.
because it's like they think that sometimes people think that I didn't hear what you said, and I heard
I
like
heard. I heard everything
every
you
word
said.
you said.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to wait for you to like, well, what did you actually mean? Because if I stop you and I ask questions like, are you prepared for that?
Mhm.
Are you ready for that? Are you actually gonna say what it is that you think? So, not everyone's
Not
open to
everybody's.
sharing those
Yeah.
thoughts.
No.
So, I think that's why sometimes it's almost like they blurt things out. Like,
Mhm.
well, now if I ask you, what do you mean? Are you prepared to tell me what it is that you meant? So sometimes I allow those things to pass by because I know and you know that you're not ready to answer that question, and you're just saying stuff just to
I
say
think that's
stuff.
where me and you differ, cause I'm the type. I'm like I said, I'm a fighter, and it's like confronting is like my main thing. So like when people like if you say something and I'm asking you, what did you mean by that? And you're not gonna tell me, like, I'm no, what did you mean? But I want I have to. And that's one of my like. I think that's a fault of mine, cause like that's where it becomes like now it spills into something that it shouldn't have been.
Well,
E-
that's why it becomes like a difficult confrontation.
Yeah.
That's why I learned, and don't get me wrong, I haven't always been, and I'm not always that person that lets things slide. But as you mature a little bit more, you understand why. Like sometimes, like what people projecting their thoughts onto you, you kind of gotta let that slide. You kind of gotta like just allow someone to kind of get those thoughts out. It's like if there's something that you want to say to me, I'm more than willing to listen. Just kind of get it out.
Mhm.
It's all right if we could have a conversation about it, then better, because now like through conversation we can understand each other a little bit better, and being able to understand each other a little bit better allows our relationship to grow, shape, mold, evolve, whatever it is that you want to call it. So that's why it's like I can't pay attention to every little thing it is that you're saying, but I'm most definitely aware of what it is that you say. I might not necessarily know what it is that you're talking about, but I don't feel like I need to confront you. I fight different.
Mhm.
That's all. It's not that we were raised by some of the same people.
Yeah.
So definitely being strong is definitely one of those things that we both have within us. I just think it's done
It's
it's done
executed
different.
differently.
Yeah, it's just done different. It's like some of that stuff that people do, I purposely don't pay it no mind, because you're looking for me to like. It's like you're trying to fish. Like you just throwing
Yeah.
out stuff, and you it's like a lure. Like on a fish, on a fish hook you have a lure. It's kind of
Mhm.
like you want me to be attracted to those things, and you think that I am, and some of it I might be, but I'm just not engaging. I don't engage because everything is not worth your time or your energy.
Yeah.
So you'll learn when you get a little bit older or you mature a little bit more. It might be tomorrow. You might understand. You might actually play this back and realize something, or you might, while we're having a conversation, realize something, and then you go back and watch it, and then like you'll see some things different. It's like if you actually took a book or a movie and you watch it or you read it, and then you read it at one stage in your life and then you
And you read
read it
that in
again,
another, and it's
it
completely
just means
different.
something
Yeah.
totally different. Like you miss stuff, and you're
Mhm.
like, well, wait a minute. You know what? I didn't realize that would, and or you listen or you talk to other people and you kind of get their opinion,
Mm-hmm.
and they start telling you like, well, this is not what that meant. This is what it meant to me. So I think that's where the saying comes from that two people could read the same book and it means two
Two different
totally different
things. Yeah.
things. So that's why I was saying like, it ain't it ain't worth my energy to always like engage in whatever it is that you're trying to project because that's maybe there's something going on with you.
Mm-hmm.
And if I trigger some, I don't want it to be negative, but if I trigger something, I'm not always aware that I'm triggering something in you. It's like I'm being me. So I think that's when it becomes difficult for people to be who they are. So I just allow you to kind of like do.
Hour and 30 minutes in this.
Well, what I was saying was I just kind of allow you to be who you are. I think
Yeah.
that's like what maybe like people become comfortable around you. They understand that
Mm-hmm.
they can be their selves. This is a beautiful thing. You don't have to like.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta be who you not around me because I probably know
You could
who
sense
you
that
are.
shit.
Like
Yeah.
I just just be comfortable with you. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about you. So I allow you to adjust. I don't like when someone's kind of like looking down on me or looking at me in a way like, well, why don't you do this and why don't you fix this and I've had people like that in my life and it doesn't feel good. So I don't want to be that person to be like, well, straighten this out and do this and let me do this and let me do that for you. And it's just kind of like you just allow people to be who they
Be
are.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, let them be themselves, cause then you'll find who you are. So I just enjoy like letting you be you, and then you learn with the listening thing, with the talking thing. Communication becomes something totally different when you
Mm-hmm.
learn how to do it. Like, we couldn't do this like maybe 10 years ago because it wasn't legal for you to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could, we wasn't doing, we wouldn't have these types of conversations. We wouldn't be doing this. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like a good thing. It's a
It
good
is.
thing, and I ain't a drink. I probably
Nope.
won't drink till another year.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's like things change,
Yeah.
and it's good to see people grow. So what I also wondered was now if there was one thing that you could do to make things like how do you see the world when it comes to where your place is in the world? Like what is it that you want to do?
Well, as far as the world, um,
Or we could do your community if you need to.
no, we could do world.
Okay.
Like one of my biggest idols was Muhammad Ali. He made a lasting impact not just on boxing but the whole world as a whole. So one of my biggest things is before I die, I'm always thinking about like for me, death is always a big thing for me, and leaving behind a legacy. So as far as what I want to do, like I don't know specifically what I want to do, but I want to leave this earth. Um, when I leave this earth, I want to be able to. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to leave it better than when I came in. So even if that's just doing this podcast and helping out in that way, um, that's fine for me as long as I can help the world positively, not just in the United States, but generally just around the world. As because we're all humans. At the end of the day, everybody's a human. Doesn't matter your race, religious beliefs, or whatever, sexual orientation. I don't care about none of that. Um, I just want to make the world a better place. What way I can do that? I'm still trying to figure out because, like I said, I'm only how old am I? 26. I'm only
Yeah, but
26.
there's like there are actually people who feel like it's a blessing to make it to 26 because
Yeah,
in
no,
their
no, I'm
environment
one of those
they
people.
don't even know like if I'm gonna make it to see 23 or 21.
Oh
So
man, I went down the wrong pipe.
it's a good thing to make it to that age. So I believe that. Can you imagine you being okay, 10 years ago, you're 26 now, so you were 16.
Yep.
Do you think that you would have the same? I don't think you're the same person
No.
that you were when you were 16
Mm-mm.
as
No.
opposed to 26.
Nope. Completely different person. I tell people that all the time. Um, when you look back on how you were and opposed to how you are now, it's usually always a completely different person. We're always changing, no matter the age, whether it's 26, 56. We're gonna be completely different people. So no, it's just no. I couldn't imagine myself like this at 16. No, I didn't. I couldn't like even not even just 10 years, a year ago, and let's say we just got into 2021. And from 2019, I couldn't imagine some of the shit that I'd done in 2020. Um, Even though it was a pretty hard year for most people, um, I couldn't imagine doing some of this shit. Like I started this podcast in 2020. Um, I've been doing a lot. I've started a new business in 2020. Um, a lot of this
What
shit.
business did you start?
So by the time this comes out, it'll be launched.
Okay.
So it's an entertainment platform. Pretty much, I'm a middleman. As you can see, I got all this equipment in this room. Um, I want to make this space, or when I get another space, um, a place for creators. So a place where there's some creators who like artists who don't have the same technology and stuff that I have here. That if they did have that, they can flourish. So they could come here and do their artwork, or they could come record a podcast, or they could come make their music. You can do whatever. And not only that, what that leads to is more opportunities for artists of
For
all
them
different
to
walks of
develop their craft, you mean?
to not only to develop their craft but to meet other artists. So put it this way.
Okay.
So look, I have a artist here who wants to draw stuff, and I have a rapper here. What do those two have in common? Well, that rapper needs somebody to make that mixtape cover or that album cover. Boom. Like, hey, look, I know this person who makes this artwork. She comes here too. She can make your artwork. Boom. Now everybody's connected. I got cameras. I got a bunch of stuff. If there's film and directors and stuff like that who don't have cameras and stuff like I got, use my equipment. Come over here. Like this is just a place. I'm just the middleman, and I'm bringing everybody together, all different walks of art. And you don't need to go through a label. You don't need to have a promoter. You don't need It's just you come
Word
here.
of mouth
Yeah,
and things like that.
you come here, and I'll point you in the direction of this artist and this artist, and y'all collab together, and boom, now y'all just made something happen.
Well, that sort of plays on the idea of like what we discussed even before we even got on this podcast together about what I would like Team Tune Out to kind of be, and the things I was telling you about, artists networking. It's like that's why I
Yeah,
said it's good to have conversations because you see, even we have some of the same ideas where it's like you're not the like okay, I might not be able to actually draw it for you, but what if I know someone that could draw it for you? So
exactly.
that hookup or that connection or that network or being able to do those things tells you like where you want to be. Like I always want to see people be creative because I feel like they being creative saved me a lot of times.
Yes. Oh
Saved me a
yes.
lot in ways that like probably no one would ever know but
Hmm.
me. Even if I tell you my story, so being able to be creative and do certain things, that's cool. I didn't know that was something that you were interested in doing, because like I said, like when we discussed it outside of this podcast, we talked about it and I'm like, this is what I want some artists that could have a cool space. So it definitely like this is where it could start, like being
Yep.
here. The a lint ball is gonna make it to be a
Hmm.
snowman.
Yep.
Then the snowman gonna make it be a mountain, and then the mountain is gonna be like the whole world. And
Hmm.
being able to connect with people and seeing like don't take some of the judgment off of some of the things
Exactly.
that we do. We could be a little judgy as a society. I think we can tend
I'm
to
a judgy
judge
person.
other. yeah, we could tend to judge people, and then sometimes those people that you judging are the ones that you could actually reach out to, or they're
Mhm.
the ones with the talent
Yeah.
that you need. So it's like take off some of that judgment and understand that we could connect in another way. So why connect like this way? Like I've had people that I ended up becoming really cool with that we just started off on a sour note. And then me being able to like understand like, you know what, I could be tripping. Let me change my perspective on some
Yeah.
things. And being able to do that has helped me. So I hope that that helps anyone that's listening or watching understand that you can like switch how you feel at
Yes, you
any point in
can.
time. You don't have to like go with the flow of things or think that you're the know all tell all type of a person, but you can also see someone in another light and understand like this is what I want. This is what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Like you might not be able to communicate that in words. Maybe you can draw it in. Like I can't wait to see this.
Oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen soon. It's
I'm
gonna
waiting
happen.
for
But
us to like collaborate on that merch.
oh, we gonna do that. No, we doing that before you leave. We doing that. Don't worry about that. That's happening.
I'm definitely down. I'm definitely down because being able to create, you don't realize how much artists are actually around you and how much
Mhm.
like art has had
An effect on everybody. Like,
yep, on history, on
yeah.
everything that goes down. Like think of it like before they had cameras, what about the people who drew before that?
Exactly.
You know, they brought a bit of a history, even if it was just their perspective. It's just what it is that I can't take this picture, but I could actually draw from my memory or paint
Mhm.
from my memory or create in some way and from my memory or from my mind how I project and how I see the world. And it's good to know like there are other people out there who actually create or like do you think that do you like to create things?
Uh, yeah. For the most part, yeah. When I'm uh not busy with my boxing or with my business, yeah. So I like to draw. Um, I do write like poems and stuff on my off time. I do a lot. Like as far as creatively, I feel like that's what, especially when I'm in like a bad mood or something like that. Like that's what like helps me get through that time. Or that's it helps me a lot. Like that definitely. Like I feel like art is therapy for me, and I might not be the best at any of those things, or I might not be good to some people, but to me that it helps me. Like I don't like
Get
it's
through
me. Yeah,
something.
it's me. Like that's what helps me get through stuff. So I think everybody in their own aspect has their own creative side. It's whether or not they repress it or they let it flourish. You just have to figure that out.
Hmm.
Snake trying to escape.
Oh, we don't need that to happen.
No, there's a weight under that one.
Does that happen? The podcast will be over and the microphone
Shoot,
might
shoot.
go with me. We out. That's how it's gonna happen. It's like, no. Listen, I was watching you feed him, and I was like, I want to touch him, but the way he wrapped himself around that food,
Yo, my boy Thor's a trip. Like, yo, boy.
I was like, and you're like, he's being dramatic. I'm like, well, that's good enough for me. So I'm gonna go on over here. Like, what is this? Like, you know, and you see it, but when you see it in person,
Mhm.
sometimes it's like,
It's like
wait a
what the
minute. Like,
fuck?
yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't. I'm not gonna say I wasn't ready for that. Like, I've seen that happen plenty of times, but to actually be up close and see it, and can you imagine if it was like a big anaconda snake? Like,
Shit. Those big motherfuckers, those are the ones I can't deal with. Cause it's like, bro, if they wrap a rock around you, there is nothing you can do. Like, there's literally nothing you can damn do. You gotta have like, if you don't live with somebody who's there with you around, like at all times, whenever you're handling that snake, there ain't nothing you can do. Once he wrap around you, that's it.
so now what do you see going down with the ones you have? Like, you gonna allow them to grow, get them a bigger habitat? Do you
Well, these
donate
ones,
them? Like, if
oh no, I'm
they
keeping.
get too big,
Nah,
like,
nah, they
how
staying
big
like.
do they grow? Or is that the biggest that they're gonna
Oh
grow?
no, this one they get like these two get like 4 or 5 feet. This one he'll grow like about probably 3, 4 Probably. Well, this one's a female, so yeah, probably they probably all go like 5 feet.
Okay.
So yeah, just get them a bigger enclosure, but yeah, they don't get like they're not like the movie Anaconda
You know,
and shit
I'm
like that.
shit, cause I'd
Nah,
be like, "What you doing?"
they stay pretty much like that same girth, a little bit fatter maybe.
Okay.
But not they're hard like they're pretty much they can't do anything else really.
Oh, okay. Cause I make moves real quick. You know what? You don't know how you move until you like, till you in the situation. You gotta move. It's like, I know my leg hurt, but watch this.
Nah, listen to this one, right? So like I told you, this one fucking bit me, right?
Uh-huh.
And that one that shit didn't fucking hurt at all, right? And he just and then put it just came right back or whatever. This little motherfucker here, this one here, I went to go put her away. Motherfucker bit my thumb and held on to that motherfucker. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I flung that motherfucker.
I was gonna say you ain't.
So no, you
you
gotta
ain't
watch
flinging
out for
around
the
the
little
room?
ones. You gotta watch out for the little ones.
Cause it would have been the day that either we would have been having a funeral, or we would have just been like, "Look, I'm so sorry, but where'd you get this pet from?"
Left a whole imprint on me. It was her friend's gecko.
Yeah, your friend about to get a gecko
Yeah,
back, like
in a box. In a box.
like it's
What
over.
I mean, like the whole teeth, and the thing was the shocking part about it was like we thought like that geckos didn't have any teeth.
Shit.
So we were like, because
how they eat?
We thought they should just because they don't they got fangs, but they don't use their fangs to eat. They just
The fangs are for defense, right?
they use that to
You're
strike.
talking about
for the
yeah,
snakes,
defense.
So I'm like, so make this motherfucker, it's just and then swallows. Like when you see it eat, it's just and then, but like under like it doesn't show its teeth.
Oh yeah, but that day it was like I'm gonna let you know I got teeth.
It shocked the fuck out of me. It was like, yo, what the fuck? I was like, this motherfucker do got teeth. This motherfucker got teeth. Left the whole imprint on my thumb, like of all of his teeth, and then we Googled it. The motherfucker's got hella teeth. It's like, bro.
Oh no, I
was like, bro, no.
That would have been a Google search I would have done beforehand. Like let me see. Let me do you have a chance of being able to bite me? Cause listen, what is for real?
And it didn't hurt, but it was like shocking because I think
how long do they grow?
It's gonna stay about that same size. It ain't growing no more.
Okay, well it's not that small. Mm-hmm. It ain't that big, but I mean, you know what I want? I told you a chameleon.
Mm-hmm.
I still want one.
I want one too. I want a chameleon.
Yeah, cause then I'm gonna have to research do they got teeth? Cause
I think they do too. I think they do too.
I might have to rethink that. I'm gonna need. Can you remove? No,
I ain't removing their teeth. Goddamn.
I might have to get an old one that don't got like no teeth or something else. Like, cause I don't know if I could do the things that's gonna bite me.
Man, believe it or not, the one that hurt the most is my goddamn rabbit. That she bit me one time when she was younger. That shit hurt, and she bit a chunk out of me. Like, I was like, oh hell no, like that shit hurt. So I was like, I don't care about nothing. But if she bite me, like that's why I gotta handle her.
Well, that's strange, cause you know what, the rabbit probably seemed the most friendly.
And they're prey animals. That's the thing. They're prey animals. Like they're supposed to be scared, but they get their teeth that hurts like that. That hurts. Like these ones, if I put on like a sweater or something, and even if they bite, they can't bite through that sweater.
Okay.
Or you feeling that. She taking a chunk out of it if she really wants to.
Oh, no, because you know what? It's like the way we were brought up to think that like certain animals were like not as friendly as other ones are. So like when I see videos of like people playing with big ass lions, I'm like, oh shit, you bugging.
I'm bugging the fuck out. I love me some lions. Y'all know I love me lions.
Yeah, we know.
I love me lions. Man, if we could have a lion that's dead ass, if I could dead ass have a lion as a pet, and I know it won't kill me, I would.
Now you gonna get the little baby lion, wait for it to like start. You starting to get too big now. I gotta have to take you back.
I'll keep them. I'm gonna have me a big ass like plot of land and shit, and let that motherfucker roam. I'm gonna let him do what he wants.
Oh, you gonna be like the dude from The Walking Dead? Well, he had a
tiger. Yeah, he had a tiger. My man Ezekiel.
Replace the tiger with a lion.
Yep, that would be me.
Your lion sitting right there. Okay.
I mean, shit. Mike Tyson had a fucking tiger. Shit. Why can't I get a lion? Shit.
Cause that should look good to you. The one that like,
But he
I gotta feed you a whole steak.
did you ever
like,
see this like Mike Tyson? That dude, that man crazy. That man is something else. If you watch, you can watch videos on YouTube of him playing with that lion. That lion not really playing with him, but Mike Tyson handling that motherfucker like.
Well, see, he probably got the strength to be able to handle it. That motherfucker got one time to like slightly overpower me, and you are going back to
You are going back
to the wild. Like, I'm gonna go in and let you loose up in here, cause well, what we got a shortage of these motherfuckers, cause that's exactly where this shit.
That's
is
where
going.
you going.
Yeah, I want to make sure you can flourish and populate the world, but not through me.
I would love to have a lion.
You know what? I gotta think about that.
Yeah, if you could have any animal, no matter what it is, what would you have?
And it would be under control.
Yeah.
It would probably be like a panther, somewhere
A
along the
panther?
line. Yeah, because I find those very
majestic.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like
And
panthers.
I like a wolf.
Me too.
Two totally different, but a wolf. Having a wolf. So I'd have a wolf on one hand and a panther on the other hand.
That'll be
I
dope.
have yeah. I could have pictures of them motherfuckers though, but
You can't have one.
I don't think I could. If I had land and it was like, an environment where they could run free, and it's not like, I would feel bad like always having them chained up.
That's why, I say I gotta have
like
a nice
that,
plot of land. I can't.
Yeah, being able to have something like that where like a sanction,
Yeah.
so to say, so that they could be, that would be good. But maybe you could like get a picture and adopt one or something. I don't even like seeing them in the zoo.
Nah, that's why I don't like zoos.
They doing too much.
I don't
like
zoos. I don't.
Yeah, cause that what y'all got going on is it's good and it's educational in a way. So you have a opportunity to be able to see an animal that you might not never actually see. Like, it's not like I'm gonna see an elephant like walking down the street or something. I don't necessarily live in that environment, but being able to like go somewhere and see it's like amazing. But at the same time, I'm like, they gotta be tired of these people tapping on them like their enclosures, or just, can you imagine having like clear walls? Like clear walls and like glass all around you, and then you kind of like, they just come along and just like tap, disturb you and do things to you. Can you imagine that?
I was watching this video of this lion. He was in a zoo, and he was roaring, and like everybody was like laughing and clapping and stuff. Mind you, when lions do that, that's to like scare you and let you know like, I'm not fucking around. I'm gonna attack you. So he was doing it like a nice, beautiful roar, and these people just laughing and clapping. Like, bruh, how you think that lion feels? Like he's sitting around trying to scare y'all, and y'all just sitting here and laughing at. Like, man, I know he feel like a piece of like, man. I can't, like, I don't like that. Like, I hate seeing stuff like that. I really just don't like zoos. And then like when like, like you ever see those videos like where people hop over the enclosures to get inside and stuff, and then they end up killing the animals.
Either that or they're gonna get hurt by the animals. So I see like the a couple of ones that I've seen is like where they're like in a zoo or in an enclosure, and people are looking at them and doing like what you're saying like they do. It's like, I think you're naturally like doing things that you think is funny, and then like the animal like breaks. They're not breaking. They're not actually getting through. But I seen them like hit a glass and the glass cracks. Now it ain't so funny, right? Now I'm gonna be on your level, and it's like I'm in your area now, or are you in my area?
Exactly. That's what that's why I really just don't like zoos, because people think it's cool like to have them glassed up and stuff, but when that glass break and you see what an animal really does in the nature, then that animal is wrong. Like, no, like, you're wrong for taking that animal out of its habitat and expecting it to just
adjust.
And do what you say. Like, no, I don't like that.
That doesn't happen.
Ooh, we saved it. Look at that. We saved it. Look at them reflexes.
Let me know if it's in the right place.
I got you. Yeah, I got you. Hold on, guys.
Wait, you know what? This why it's this white. Okay, I didn't realize it was caught up under my chair. Okay, I'm saying you ain't gonna have no more of these earheads. You
That's
need your big
alright.
one.
That's alright.
So, is there? Hey, so a question I have is, if you could see yourself like helping someone and money didn't matter, how would you help a person?
I'd help him the best way I know how. So basically, when I first started my business, a lot of it I did for free, and a lot of it I still do for free, depending on the person. I'll say this. I have a lot of clients that are very sick. That when I first met them and they were going to be potential clients that I would be making money off of, I did not think they would like last literally on this earth for more than 3 months. Whether it was cancer or any other type of ailment, um, those type of people like that, I don't charge. I do that just out of the kindness of my heart, and not that I think that it would like it like that'll make their life like they'll live longer or help them in the long run. Just in case if that is like their last 3 months, at least I know like when I'm with them and stuff, they can enjoy. Because when people get sick, like I think like it's a natural thing for people to just feel like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. But for that sick person, they just want to be treated like they're a normal person, like that they're still healthy. And especially when they're told that this is like their last few months on earth, all they want to do is just live like the best way they can and not be limited. So what I like to do is just treat them like they're like they're a normal healthy person and help them do whatever they want to do. As far as like, so for me, I'm like I said, I'm a boxing coach and I'm a personal trainer. So um, I help them whatever I can physically, and I don't tell them that they can't do this or hinder them or maybe we shouldn't do that. No, if you want to do something, we're gonna work towards that, and that's what I do for them, and that's the best way that right now I know I can help somebody. As far as well, right now, like that's where I feel like not only am I helping them, but I get a satisfaction out of helping them is through physical fitness, because I believe, especially with fitness and personal training, it's not only a physical thing, it helps mentally too, and I believe that helps a lot. Like as far as in one case, somebody was told they weren't gonna live, like I said, for 3 months, and they're still alive to this day, and like that to me is like that makes me happy, and that's an older lady, and
You did physical.
therapy with me, and she still thanks me to this day, and she checks up on me, like making sure like I'm okay, how you doing. She updates me on everything, and like just one connect, like, and that's when I first started this thing, like, and man, like that to me, that's how I feel like I can help people, and that like I still do that to this day. Like I don't mind doing stuff like that. To me is more important than money, because money to me doesn't mean anything. Like if you're really going through something and stuff like that, like I don't mind helping, like, because at the end of the day, I'm more about if I give to the universe will give back to me more than what money can. So yeah.
Yeah. I think it's good to have a healthy relationship with things such as money. So
Mm-hmm.
when you have a healthy relationship and or you develop in a different way, your respect for money becomes a little different and you understand where it's just like another tool because you need it.
Yes, you do. You definitely do.
So it just becomes another tool for you to use and having a healthy relationship, much like with people.
Yeah.
Having a if you use people in the wrong way, I don't think you will have many
Many
people
people
around you.
around. Yep.
So if you use money in not such a good way, you think you're gonna have enough, or you know, you think you're gonna keep getting money around you?
Exactly. And that's the thing. The thing, like, one thing that bothers me is when I hear people say, "Oh, like my main goal is I want to make money. I like when it just revolves solely around the money." Like I feel bad for those people. I feel bad for those people because you can never get enough of money because once you get it, it always like you always want more. You're always gonna want more.
Right.
There's never an end to it, and that shit is just like, bro, that shit is sad. One of my clients one time had told me, he was talking about his friend and he was saying that, you know, he has all this money, but how did he put it? He has all this money, but has nobody, and he's saying that we good.
Okay, that people around you solely based on what you can offer them.
Yeah.
So when you're poor and people are around you, it's more
You
like
know
they
it's
want to be
genuine.
around
Yeah.
you. It's like they're actually being genuine with you. Like,
Mhm.
like this person doesn't have to be here, but
Mhm.
they actually here because they want to be here. So I understand what it is that they are saying.
Yeah.
Because it just, like I was saying, you can always have people around you. And, if you got some money, I've had money, but I ain't had money.
Mhm.
I've had decent situations where I could be able to, like, maybe afford. But if I got to afford you as a friend, I don't want you around me anymore.
Mm-mm.
I'd
And
rather
I,
be broke. I mean, some of the best times that I've had is when I was broke and I ain't have no
exactly.
money. And
Exactly.
then we got to think about what it is that we want to do and we got to get creative. So it was just like, those to me are the best times that you could have. We had the most fun. We laughed the most.
Mhm.
And we ain't have nothing. We ain't have nothing but each other. Those are some of the best times. And I've had situations where, like, money has become the it's a good thing because it's a tool, like I said, that you need to use. But if you don't have a good relationship with money, money can become a problem and cause a rift between you and someone that you actually
Mhm.
really, really care about, or that you really have feelings for. And then it's just like, it just seems like everything is
It's
all
about
about
money.
money.
Mhm. I've been there.
So you like, what is this? Are you actually here for me, or are you here because of some money? And I always feel like I'd rather have you broke,
Yeah. Exactly.
because then, like, you don't have to think about that, because I'm actually here. Well, I'm not saying like I want to be broke, but you understand, or I
Mhm.
want, like, someone around me that's broke, not because I'd rather have someone around me who has can show having a better relationship
Mhm.
with money, and understand, like, if we're talking about those things, like, I honestly, I want nice things. Don't you want nice things? Don't you want a better microphone because you're trying to get somewhere?
Yeah.
You
But
understand?
one of the things that, especially like in 2020, I spent a lot of fucking money. Like I spent a lot, and I was thinking like this the other day in the car, like the times where I like splurged on money and shit is where I'm like, that shit like doesn't like it don't make me happy. It don't make me excited. It like it don't for me. It doesn't. It literally does nothing for me, but just makes me feel like it just makes me feel worse for some reason. So I like
When
I'd
you
rather.
splurge money, or when you splurge money on
But I still have.
yourself,
But no.
you talking about, or when
So
you
what?
splurge money towards something that somebody else could want? Like, if you can make someone happy, and, like,
It's more
some
when
maybe
I.
something that they might not be able to ever afford to get, and you're
It's
able to do it with them. Does that not help your relationship with money?
it's more when I spend it on myself. Like I
You feel bad?
I spend like I'm one of those people. I spend money more on everybody else than I do myself. A lot of people
Yeah.
hate that about me, but I just don't like to spend money on myself just because I don't like. I just feel bad. Like, and I really just don't like it. Like,
I think that's one of the places that one of the things that we have in common because like I'll do for you before I do for myself,
mm-hmm.
and then I've as I've gotten a little bit more mature with that, you realize that you know like even with Team Tune Out, I've talked about like doing self-care
Yeah,
and like doing things for yourself because especially when you have to look out for other people, it's like if you're not all right and you going through something, you can't really help someone else.
exactly. Yeah,
So if I'm not all right, and I'm speaking specifically for myself, if I'm not all right, then I can't really help you. So I had to like learn how to have a better relationship. Like it's all right to get yourself something. Like don't feel so bad to like I feel bad. Like I take what I do is I have like this one time a year, usually around the holidays because that's when you catch all the good deals.
mm.
Because I don't feel like I want to pay full price for
Hell no.
nothing. So especially around a time like this, like I want to make sure, I like I said, I don't think that there's anything wrong with having nice things
Mm-hmm.
for yourself. Because if I'm not right, then like you're not gonna be right, right? So if it's this one thing, like I want this one bag that I really, really that I really want, right? And it's like I feel like I should get a good bag because I'm not going to buy 10 bags. That's not me. I'm not going to buy a bag every month. I'm not buying shoes every month. So I might, like, for 1 month out of the year, buy 3 or 4 pairs of shoes, buy 2 or 3 bags, and that's going to take me. I might not get another bag even the next year. I might just get, like, pair of pants the following year. I
Mm-hmm.
might move in another direction. I might get a hat. I might get one pair of shoes. I might get something else. I feel like having a better relationship with money helps you like understand like yo, you know what? You deserve some things and do some things for yourself because you don't ever want to drain yourself in or people tend to take sometimes you got to be aware of people taking advantage of
Mm-hmm.
a person like you. Like or and like myself where it's like I'm telling you you go exhaust yourself trying to do so much for everybody else that you tend to forget about what you want. And then you end up being like, damn, I ain't getting nothing for myself. And it's not like you go into a situation necessarily looking to do something for yourself, but you sometimes want someone to do the things that you would do for them.
I
And you want
learned.
it to be genuine. You want it to
Yeah.
come from their heart as much as it came from your
One thing I
heart.
learned, like, that's another thing. Like, I just don't expect anything from anybody
Yeah,
anymore.
well, it's not even about. It's.
But like,
I'm not talking about expecting
like,
something
no, like,
from someone. What I'm saying is your own relationship with yourself. That's why self care is good. Like, yeah, we could do broke stuff, but come on.
that's
Like,
why.
there's some things that you like you deserve. Like, you can't really help other people. Like, I could tell you that this is what I want, but now like can I do it if I don't start purchasing the equipment? You think some fairy god person is gonna come out of nowhere and just start buying equipment so that your idea could
True, true.
flourish? They ain't gonna do it for you if they don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So a part of like getting out there too is like, you know, doing some self care is like what I like to
Yeah.
refer to it as because there's only so much that you can do for other people before you start like running you into the ground and then like
One of my biggest struggles.
how would you really be able to help anyone? Like I always feel like I'm just have a day where it's just dedicated to me even
Mm-hmm.
if all I'm doing is like getting like a good brand of soap,
Yeah.
getting a good facial brand, like something that I wouldn't necessarily go buy like on a regular basis, but getting some like expensive soap. And when I say expensive soap, I am not talking, and like I'm not talking about like a fifty
You
dollar
ain't
or
talking
even
about
a
no
hundred.
Irish Spring.
No, I'm talking about something that you might pay. Like you, all right. Normally, I'm buying a whole bunch of soaps for like $6.99. I'm talking about like getting out one bar of soap that's like $12 because it feels good on your skin. Because just do something for you that feels good. And then that way, like, you know what, you can feel good. It's like you walk out and you feel good about like the way your skin looks now. Now you're in a position where you build in your own confidence and not necessarily waiting for someone else to kind of build you up. It's nice to have someone else around you like that, but unfortunately, we don't all have that person. That's like why we birthing these ideas, like being able to have something so that people could come and connect and network, because you see a need for that.
Yeah.
You see a need for like someone to be the middle person. It's like you're the liaison. Yeah, being a middle person, it could be cool, but it can also be draining.
Yeah.
It can be draining. So being able to do those things as well as take care of you, take care of you. So take care of yourself sometimes. Because it's a beautiful thing. But I don't want to be talking about the memories of my brother neither. I want to be like, look, he helped me and we together, we over here, we collaborated on these ideas. So being able to, I think self-care is extremely important. Yeah. Like, even if I go for a walk, being able to do those things, like, you helped me with that when we used to go to the gym. I mean, I wish I could like continue with that idea of being able to go to the gym. So I'm, all right, well, you know what? Let me start going for a walk again. Let me, like, that self-care helps. It helps you feel good. It helps you lift your head up, and then you evolve with your own self-care. So like, where I only can go for a free walk, maybe I can start paying to go to a gym to walk on their treadmill, and or being able to do other things. So self-care comes in different form, and being able to do those things for yourself is important. So taking the time for yourself is just as important as it is for you to say that you want to do something for someone else.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, if you don't take care of you, it's like you're going to be no more no good. I ain't got time to be picking you up off the floor because you ain't take care of yourself. So taking care of yourself is important. So don't ever feel like that. I understand what you're saying, because we kind of the same way. Balance. It's like hard to do something for yourself, but I had to like convince myself. And even through like Team 2 now, if you come on the page, you'll see growth. I see growth, because I'm like, I said that. I must have been having a bad day. Did I mean that? Like that, and it's almost like keeping a journal. Now, like the people now that it's kind of out there like that, it's like people are going to hold you accountable to a certain extent.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's a good thing. It could be a good thing and a bad thing, because I don't want you to tell me what to do, but I most definitely don't mind like someone saying, like, nudging me, giving me a slight nudge, saying like, didn't you say that this is something that you wanted to do?
Exactly, yeah.
And then, like, I'm here to help. That's it. That's what I look for. So, like, even with yours, now that I know for sure that this is something that you want to try to do, I'm going to come through. Well, where you at with that? Did you get something done? Because then I'm going to need that back. And then how did you take care of yourself? Because self-care is important. Like, I'm going to always stress that. And I think, like, maybe eventually we'll get to a point where we can be able to offer people an option of what you can do for self-care.
Yeah.
And maybe, like, going to the nail salon for a guy or a girl, meaning, like, go get yourself, it don't have to be a nail salon, but, going somewhere to get a massage, going somewhere to get your toes done, going somewhere, throwing a blanket on the ground and sitting there and just like having your own personal picnic or doing something. Like anything. Something to help you remember who you are without someone else having to do it. Because sometimes you just got to tell yourself that you are it.
Yep.
And sometimes you can't wait. You can't wait for other people to do it for you. Because it might not never happen. And being able to do those things for yourself is important. It's important. It's important for me to, like, get a new shirt and feel good. So I'm going to be feeling myself for, like, this whole time I got this brand new shirt on, I am everything. every woman hear me roar, like, you know, it gotta be like that. It really does. 'Cause you don't know, like, what those things mean when your hair ain't done, when you ain't, like, I'm not in the best, like, position right now, but I'm not in the worst.
Mm-hmm.
So I can look and see, like, where I was and where I'm going.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing. So I definitely hope to see both of our things grow and flourish and see things going on and make sure that, you know, I'm checking up on you, doing self-care and, like, maybe doing another podcast where it's like,
no, this ain't gonna
you
be the
know
last
what?
one. Nope.
Are you guys out there taking care of yourself? Are you drinking your water? Are you staying healthy? Are you checking for us? Because we're going to be checking for you.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You know?
We've been, shit, it's been 2 hours and 16.
Long enough to know that, like, we need to make this happen again. Maybe before I go, we can get another one going.
Okay, that's fine.
And come up with some things to discuss.
All right, that's fine.
Before I go.
Definitely.
Because, you know, we could do this over the phone, but
yeah, no, we could just.
I ain't got no microphone at home.
Listen. I call you. See this button right here? That's the Bluetooth button right there. When I call you, that should line up. Or I could plug my phone right here. Do you see that's the phone right there? Plug my phone right up in there.
Okay.
Right there. Your voice.
And this is what? A sound? Because, you know, I'm trying. This is
called,
a soundboard, right?
Yeah, this is a soundboard right here. We not going to. They don't sponsor me, but.
Okay,
you know
so I won't
right
mention
here,
it.
This right here, you know, is the all around. Like, you can do it, like, as far as podcasting, this is what you need right here.
You
this
just need that one.
Yeah. So this one thing, like, literally.
Right, well, you need that, and don't you need a microphone?
Yeah, you can get them.
Because all right, now, I know the phones come with, like, microphone apps and stuff like that, but it ain't nothing like having this. So you saying, like, getting yourself a mic or, like, 2 mics. Mm-hmm. So that you can interview with someone, like what we're doing right now.
That's why I got 3, because at one point I had only 2 mics, but then
I like the way that one looks.
Yep. So one time I had 3 guests, and I was like, oh shit, like I need more mics, so that's why now I got this one here.
Okay.
I gotta get another one just in case. This one can hold up to 4 mics, so you know, if I get one more, that's it. I'm good. Now I can have multiple guests or whatever. And it'll make it a lot easier. So, yeah.
You know what I think will be interesting while we're here, if we have time, is to get, like, some of the other people that are around us that are here, if we can get them involved in a good conversation. Maybe we'll come through with a healthy debate. Mm-hmm. Or if we can't get it going while I'm here, you know, I'll call you. You can hook that button up. Yeah, because it's always interesting. To be able to do this, and maybe like Team Tune Out will be able to evolve into something where we can have a similar setup to this. Podcast, so yeah. So that'll be cool.
That'll be dope. Yeah.
You know, and then we could just, you know, y'all might be witnessing something that's gonna be boring.
So we evolving stuff right here just in this podcast alone.
Just through discussion. Mm-hmm. So yeah, most definitely. Let's see if we can get this going again before I go, and if we can't, then we already know what we could do. Will. So we can, and we can, maybe we could, like, see if we get somebody else up in here.
Yeah,
rift off of each other and be able to have
get the whole
something
squad.
going.
All these mics could pick up everybody. Like, man, we could put mics all over the fucking room and shit, and just put that shit right in the living room. Nice, better scenery than being in here. Boom.
Well, this is cool scenery because this is you.
The only thing is this
is your space. You just let me come into your space, which is cool. I'm most definitely thankful for it, being able.
This space right here. This is a 1 or 2 people limit right here.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's cool. It's an intimate space. That's all it is. It's just an intimate space, and this is your space, and it's cool. To be able to be, I'm glad. Thank you for inviting me into your podcast in your area, and definitely let me know what's going on.
Will do, definitely will do.
Because we got a lot to work on. We only got literally 24 hours to do it. Because that last little bit of time, you know, I gotta rest. Mm-hmm. So definitely let me know.
We will,
and hopefully we get this done.
We will.
Okay.
All right, guys. This has been the podcast. Hope you guys liked it. Make sure you guys I'll put the link in the description for Team Tune Out. Make sure you guys go join that group real quick.
Definitely.
Make sure you guys comment and just chat it up in there. You know, let ideas flow through and collab with my sister here. You know, she's y'all heard it.
Real life sister,
Yeah,
not like sister. Like we
this
like that.
blood,
like we blood.
Like, for real, for real. Like, nah, just make sure you guys go up in there and just flourish. That's what we all trying to do in this thing called life. So until next time, guys.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Peace and much love to you.
Later.